Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this platform by individuals, callers, or invited guests are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with the brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes.
Fringe check, download today. Fringes is a new mobile app designed to meet, mix, and post with Torah keepers like you. That's right, how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity? Bring it out! Fringes is available on Google Play and the App Store.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
All praises be to the Most High, the Holy One of creation. Shalom, everyone, and I am looking forward to this discussion, as always.
Shalom, of course. Welcome. She's gonna be here to say her piece and let people know what's going on. Things are happening, and of course, she asked me to bring on a platform so she can express to the people what's happening. But you have a lot of people on the phone lines again, and welcome. Feel free to press number one. I see you got people pressing number one already. There we go. Feel free to press number one. I hear your door. I hear your door.
I actually have Sister Mayana's on the line as well. She asked me to
okay.
Mayana's
okay.
on my line.
Mayana, say hello to the people.
Shalom.
All right, shalom. All right, so we're going to get this thing started. We're going to get this thing started, guys, and I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the title is accurate. You did read it correctly. The title is basically saying farewell to the platform in the capacity that I have served the platform as well as the people. And I wanted to start off by reading Ecclesiastes 3, just a portion, because, some people, receive the news. Understandably, if someone has been and has become, a part, either officially or unofficially, of your family network, virtually or physically, it's, hearing that the person is no longer going to be a mainstay can definitely affect those who are listening. So I definitely want to let you know that I understand that, and I appreciate all the feedback that I've had thus far. Shlomo says, or the preacher, Kohelet says in Ecclesiastes 3, to everything there is a season. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to count as lost. A time to keep and a time to discard. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. And a time for war and a time for peace. And as I was thinking, and I went down from 1 to 8, what I would say in my opening, it came to me that this is much befitting, as many of us sometimes don't understand what's happening, and maybe we don't like change, or we don't know where it puts us. But in Ecclesiastes, we understand there's a time for everything under the sun. And even when something may appear to be negative or appear to be positive, it's really subjective from the viewer, you understand? And so because I embrace understanding that there is a time to be silent, and then there's a time to speak. And so we are called as people of the Most High to be able to speak up for what is truth and what is right. And as my time here on the platform, as long as co-host, as always, Sister Mayana, hopefully I have succeeded in my portion of speaking up for the voiceless, for those who may have been afraid to say what was going on, for those who listened in silence but was able to get direction. And so for that, I am grateful to have had the opportunity in this capacity, in this space, to use my voice towards elevation and healing for the nation. Has it been done perfectly? No, but has it been done wholeheartedly? I would say yes. So that would be my opening thoughts. Again, the decision has come to part ways at this time. We even did a show at one time when two don't agree. right, where we discover, we look at and analyze this thought of walking together, and when two come to a point where they don't agree, what should be done. You know what I mean? So if you missed that, I'm just going to give the promo. Go ahead and check that one out as we continue in this farewell. And I want to say I'm still here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to be here in different capacities, but I just won't be on this platform at 8 o'clock as you have been accustomed to hearing me for the last 3 years.
All right, once again, fam, it's Debate Talk for You says farewell to the First Lady. You want to hear from the people as well. You know, Emunah has put a lot of work on this platform. And for those that's listening for the first time, let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. I came across Emunah on YouTube, you know, because, of course, I was looking for new special guests. That's what I was doing. Always trying to bring new Hebrew Israelites on the platform. And what I admired about her, and still do, is the manner in which he delivers the message. Of course, check out our work on the channel. You know, I'm going to have everything posted in the description box for those who want to follow for the first time that's checking out the show, because we have listeners all across the globe. Make sure you go check out her work. She's done a lot of work. She still does a lot of work even today. The Yummy Cottage. Okay, let them know about some of your projects while you're here. Let them know.
No, yeah, as Brother South said, you know, the work continues in every capacity. Debate Talk for You is actually like about the third show that I've co-hosted before this, because every time there becomes a time where you continue to grow and you've done your job at that particular space, you know what I'm saying, and it's time to move on to other spaces so that you can continue to shine that light in dark places. And so before this, I was on a reggae show. And before that, I was on another brother's show where, you know, I was able to do some of the same things and bring information to people that they haven't heard. So when one door closes, so to say, the Most High opens up another door and lets me know where he desires for me to be. In the meantime, real time, I am here in Florida doing, actually, we own a vegan takeout restaurant. We are experiencing a bit of changes as we speak, and we look forward to the direction that the restaurant is going in. This whole year has kind of been like product research and development, okay? It's actually feeding people food, healthy food, and the things that they need to live a healthy life. So it's not, I don't just only teach about emotional healing or teach about history. I bring it into real life and see, because Torah is practical. And so that's what I'm doing now. I also have returned to my YouTube channel because I haven't been over there since I was pushing the Yummy Cottage. And so there were people over there who were looking for me. And so after a year, I returned and began to do videos. I won't be able to do it in the full capacity that I used to, but still I want to be able to kind of maintain that connection. So those are some of the things that I do, I continue to do, as well as, you know, anywhere you see me on social media, you can always hit me up, ask me a question if you desire, and I'll help in the best way I can. If I can't help, I'll try to get you to someone who can help you. And so that's basically what I do, what I have been doing, and what I will continue to do.
Right. So even back then, 3-4 years ago, very active in the community and doing the YouTube videos. So like I said, I'm going to leave all the links in the description box. Of course, for those that are new, you can always go to the archives and go check out all the shows and see and listen for yourself all the work that Emunah Ysrael has done. But the first show coming on this platform, I brought her on, was with Ron Divine Prospect. And that was a great show, classic, right, Emunah?
Okay, that one was that one always gets referred to. You know, Ron. Ron is interesting to verbally, you know, not really spar because I'm not a dude, but you know, I kind of like that exchange, and that's what we got on the show. And what happened was it allowed for a lot of things to come out and things to be considered, and that's kind of the tone that the relationship challenge took. Was bringing the brothers to the table, not speaking at them, but to them, creating an environment where we can have these well-needed discussions, and hopefully the listening audience can get a joke here and there, you know, can get something to go look up, and it edifies and enriches their life. And so, yeah, that was the beginning of my time here on Debate Talk for You.
Yeah, and for those who missed that show was entitled Polygyny. What was wrong? What's wrong with that? Check that out in the archives. And once I brought her on the platform and I saw, you know, I heard the dialogue, I was like, listen, I got to bring her on the platform as a regular. This is something different. This is something new, you know, and I took a lot of heat, actually, for that, too. You know, a female on a platform, what? Behind the scenes and in public, you know, like, oh, people didn't want that to happen. But, you know, I was like, no, you know, this needs to be heard. It needs to happen. And therefore came the relationship challenge. Shout out to Mayana and the Water Swordsman. shout out to those. Without those, people bringing it forth and making the concept reality, it probably wouldn't happen. So.
Correct. And shout out to War. Shout out to War, because those first 2 seasons were everything. Like, I look forward to those discussions because you never knew where they were going to end up. You know what I'm saying? War is an interesting eye, but nonetheless, I think for people who may have missed those beginning seasons, what you saw was people who subscribed to something but didn't let that stop them from dealing with other issues, right? And so we were able to sit down at the table, come back week after week with good spirits. And so, yeah, those were the early days, definitely, of the relationship challenge.
Yeah, and then later on we expanded with Akwete. Shout out to Akwete, wherever you are. Akwete, wherever you are, Akwete, I know you're doing your thing. I see you on YouTube. Give me a call. But, yeah, so, over the years, and now, a lot of work has been done, and now we're here today. And, Emunah, I just want you to, let the people know while we're here, you got another show coming up. You can plug that out there as well later on.
Right. So if you're listening, we are actually streaming from Under the Palm. That's something that what has started to happen, because I did notice that although Sal would bring over the information from Blog Talk and put it on YouTube, the shows of what we were doing were getting pushed down. And so for people who wanted just a straight catalog of the information without searching through all the videos, there was this Under the Palm concept that myself and Sister Mayana came up with before UTP. UTP was actually a transplanted from the YouTube channel to become the spinoff of the Relationship Challenge. And so we just started bringing over all of the videos so that you can just, have your full of the Relationship Challenge, and then later on UTP. From there, like I said, we were in that space, and as time progressed, you would be called on in different times and capacities to speak about one topic or sit on a roundtable panel where you move from host seat to actually a participant. You see what I'm saying? And so how are we here? Somebody will say, well, if it's all good, then how are we here, right? How did we get here? And we got here to a difference of perspective of where we're going and what I am willing to do and what I'm not willing to do as the show progresses. And so that's how we got to this particular place. So if you want more details, feel free to ask, and I can give you more.
All right, once again, the number is 319-527-6239. I see we got people pressing number 1. Feel free to press number 1 and stand by, of course. We're going to go to the phone lines later on. Of course, we have Emunah Ysrael, the First Lady. She's Debate Talk for You says farewell to her. Again, if you want to chime in, people, because there's a lot of people. I see a lot of love on social media as well. There's a lot of people actually are, some people actually feel very emotional about what's happening. I have people hitting me up in the inbox and phone calls and stuff like that. They like that we work together. They like the fact that we work together. Some people complimenting, the work that Emunah has done and mine as well. Okay, there we go. We're gonna go to the phone lines. I see you guys. But yeah. So basically, listen, call in. Number 319-527-6239. So yeah, Emunah, listen, let's talk about it. You wanted the airwaves. You say you want to speak to the people. You say it was going to be long anyway. You're just going to speak to the people and let them know what's going on, and pretty much wrap it up. Yeah. So let's do it.
So yeah, we're definitely going to give the people a time to say whatever they have to say and ask the questions. But as you said, there are some people who this is what they look to on a Monday night at 8 o'clock under the palm of Debate Talk for You or the Relationship Challenge. They look to that dialogue, even if they never say anything, even if they're just watching on the replay. So I never underestimate the effect that I have in people's lives. And so if I come on a platform, wherever I am, and say the same thing and be the voice, then there's going to come a time that the test is going to come. Like, how much do you really believe what you're saying? You understand? And so we may stumble and fall along the way, but as I said, in recent times, in recent events of those who've been paying attention to what's going on, we did come back, and I did have a different vibe, as some would say, because I finally come to the point, and I said it on the first show of my return, that there's so much going on that we don't have any time for hypocrisy. or we don't have any time not to be real and say what needs to be said. So either we're going to get beyond it or we're going to go our separate ways. And I said that on the very first episode of Return when Sal was well enough to open back the platform. You understand? And this is kind of the course that it's taken. I've seen some things over the years, not necessarily on debate talk, the relationship challenge, but in other spaces on the platform that also represents the contribution to the platform that I personally didn't really like or agree with, especially because of the standard of the platform to say keep it clean and professional. Like this is the mantra, to keep it clean and professional, no defacing people, no going in that direction so that we can stay in a respectful mode. And so when I'm noticing certain things are not in alignment with that, then I have to say something. You see, because after a time, if it's not improving, then I'm compelled to say, listen, we have to address this. And we have to address it in the same way we would want it to be addressed, clean, respectful, and professional. And so to my understanding, and we're going to have that conversation after this discussion, which is to kind of tell us how we did in addressing something that we saw in the peer review that happened a few weeks ago, And so this is kind of what brought everything to a head. But go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, so like you said, as you mentioned in the first show, you let people know that, you feel a certain type of way about certain things, that's happening in the community, on the program, stuff like that. So you definitely voice that out there. And I think there lies the issue because, as when we first started this whole program, there was a particular blueprint that we had, pretty much like, okay, when you come on was to, you being on was to actually be a host where Torah only and Messianics could come on the platform and, you bridging the gap, so to speak, so people can have positive dialogue. And you've done that for a long period of time, and that was the concept. And people didn't even know, actually, for a long time what we were. People didn't know I was Messianic, or they didn't even know if you were Torah only. Because why? Because the way in which we speak to the community, as a whole. And you want to speak on that?
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you were able to voice that. I met that. I met it. I never hid who I was, but I didn't make it to be a stumbling block before, because my thing is that I'm not new to this, let me just say. And so I understand people grow at their own rate and on their own time. And if you model a behavior that facilitates a discussion, then you don't know what will wake a person up. You don't know what direction. So you do have to put it out there. You see what I'm saying? You have to model the behavior that you're saying to the person, this is the right way to go. And so hopefully we were able to do that. But then as Kohelet or Solomon says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything under the sun. And so being that was facilitated, being that a lot of the topics that were floating out there were addressed, it was time to address this huge elephant in the room. And that's where some people may be like, whoa, why is the relationship challenge addressing the Messianic divide? And that was because after 3 seasons, I realized that even though you're trying to look beyond this issue, the issue was what was informing a lot of the issue, if you can understand. So we talk about, did the Messiah do away with divorce? Then you're going to have a difference of opinion depending on what side of the book you lean on. And then we ask, can women teach, preach, or even speak? And depending on what side of the book you lean on, that's going to inform your opinion. So after we have done all those shows, then it came to the time I would not be true to form if I didn't say, now it's the time. Now that we saw that we can have civil dialogue, now it's the time for us to address what everybody wants to talk about. But we're going to address it in a way that we're going to remain respectful. There were 3 episodes, and, to the best of their ability, it was to facilitate a dialogue and not an argument or even a debate. And in some places it necessarily didn't go well, but for the overall perspective of it, I think the relationship challenge was successful in facilitating that discussion. And so when that tide changed, and we come down the line where now we get to the point where we were called upon I was called upon, and Sister Maya was called upon to bring some of that energy, some of the energy that we established in those 3 years, to bring some of that energy to this debate. I was called on. I didn't volunteer myself to say. I was called on to say, hey, we want the debate to be better. Please, and so now you have to go on this respective side in which you belong. And so this is where I moved from host Emunah. I wasn't hosting the debate. Now I'm on a team to try to facilitate something that it can have a better outcome. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when that happened, which is recently, we had the first show, and then the debate was canceled. You see? So when the space of the blueprint moved from doing this to coming over here and using that energy over here, it changed the tides. And when I came into this space, I was able to see more of what I necessarily didn't see just doing the relationship challenge.
What was it that you still saw? You want to speak upon that to the people?
Well, because my thing is debates here and there, but I wasn't able to listen to and stomach debate after debate after debate, right? And so when now it's now part of my responsibility to know, because I like to research, so I have to know what happened. So I have to begin to go back and listen to some debates, right? I have to go back and listen to the research. Who's on the team? What have they said before? What is their stance? This is what you do when you're going to go into a debate. So when I begin to do that, I'm like, whoa, what in the world? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what's been happening over here? Yeah. And so that is just me coming into, wow, this is not good, right? And so that's kind of what was happening, the research that I had to do now that I am chosen to be on a team, represent Torah, and hopefully get the debate to a place where we can get to some resolve.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, we talk about the On Trial series that we going to get another show in March. Actually, we have it booked March 8th. Yeah, we have another trial coming up. And we were supposed to actually, before I got sick and I was in the hospital, Emunah was on the team that was before. I got sick, unfortunately. But talk about that trial. And actually, that was like one of the shockers to the world. Like, oh, Emunah's on the team? Oh, okay.
Correct.
Got the first lady on the team with the three guys. Yeah, we want to see this. So the hype was out there. People, they wanted to hear it. They wanted to see it. I think we did a show talking about, just like a promotional show, just talking about it. And I asked you a few questions on why you decided to do this, things of that nature. So, yeah, but unfortunately, that didn't happen because I got sick, But we're going to do the show again, y'all. Actually, in March, we have a show lined up, another trial on the 8th. We're going to have a preview show, too, the week before. So, yeah, so we're here, guys. We're here. Matter of fact, before we get into, let me hear what the people got. It sounds like there's a lot of people that want to say some things. You don't mind if we go to the phone lines real quick?
Go to the phone lines. I'm always open to going to the phone lines as long as we keep it clean and respectable.
All right, let's go to the phone lines, fam, because we have a lot of people that want to show some love and talk about things or, say your piece, like we always say, just keep it clean, keep it professional. Let's go to 813-240, you're live.
Right. Okay, so it wasn't paid when he paid that rent, right?
Yo, hey, Chris. Chris.
All right.
Hey.
Now, how much money did I take up there then?
Hold on. He doesn't even hear us. Let's go to the next person. Let's go to 347-731. You're live. 347.
Shalom, everybody. Kane, all praises to the Most High, of course. I'm just so sorry to hear that Emunah's series is ending. And I have to say, Sal, with no disparagement meant, I'm a little disappointed in you. And I'm a little surprised because I went back over some of the tapes and I heard this castigating that the young man who was defending the New Testament was doing. It's supposed to be in a trial-type situation. And I thought that the premise of this program was that, there would be no disrespect and everybody would respect each other's views. But this man went off, and he actually was castigating people. And the thing about it is I don't know how you can actually call it a trial when only one side is present, So that disappointed me a great deal, and I was just surprised and disappointed because one of the reasons why I like this show so much is because of your personality, the thing that you brought to the show, and the fact that you seem to be a fair moderator, you know. But in this particular instance, I don't know what happened. I don't know how this guy was allowed to go on with his tirade, and you didn't stop him, you know. I mean, at least, you know, bring some points out about his not being fair and being equitable, and even doing it on what he could understand was our Shabbat. You know, I'm texting stuff, you know, with some of the stuff that was going on in the Shabbat, which is actually an unfair arena when you think about it for people who observe the Shabbat. You know, so I just want to say that I was a little bit disappointed about that. I'm very sorry that Emunah and the, you know, the underdepartment, all the rest of that is going on. I will follow them if they're going someplace else. I'll certainly follow them there, but I just was a bit disappointed, you know, and I feel so sad about it because you know what happens with us. Frequently, we start something so good and it becomes so great, and then next thing you know, we're at each other's throats. You know, and that's why a lot of institutions and a lot of our, you know, endeavors fail because we're at each other's throats and we're still not respectful. As they, you know, the popular saying is that we can disagree without being disagreeable, and it seems that a lot of people don't seem to want to follow that line. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and we have to realize that when you're talking about debate, the very meaning of debate is that you're going to have opposing sides, and you're going to have different perspectives being presented. But the thing is that everybody's entitled to that perspective, and everybody's entitled to that opinion, and it should be voiced with respect. You know, you don't have to tear down another person to make your point. Just make your point strong. That's all. So I have to say that I was a bit disappointed, you know.
Yeah, I understand that.
By the way, this is Emunah Ysrael.
Yeah, I know, Emunah Ysrael. I love you. You know, appreciate your input. But I just want to let you know, for the record, that was the first show that we did, the On Trial series. And we, you know, when you do a first show, you know, it was an experiment pretty much. How can we work on a new concept, a new series on the show? And we had Torah only on trial. So, but this time, actually in March, we're going to have the Messianics on trial. So, you know, I've learned from the first show. I'm going to tweak some things and make it bigger and better. You know, so, you know, you got to learn from those things. I'm not going to say that necessarily that's the way, you know, there's a lot of things that could have went right on that show. But, you know, that was the first one. That was the first one of its kind with that particular series. And my goal is to make it better as we keep going with this, you know, the On Trial series. So, you know, I definitely understand how you feel. And, you know, I get it. You know, I understand. Might I just suggest as a moderator that when people start to get a little bit off the grid, that you kind of, you know, pull them back in towards the center so that they don't become offensive and they don't become disrespectful. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I respect other people's opinion. I mean, one of the art forms of learning how to debate is that even when you hear something that incenses you, that you can still, you know, present your own point without getting, you know, over the top about it. And you know, I know that I get real hot sometimes about things. I know that I haven't learned the proper art of debate. And, you know, sometimes you will go, you know, just tear on in, but you can't always do that. Not if you're having a meaningful debate. That's my take on it. Yeah. And Mona, you want to respond? You want to talk? You can speak.
Yeah, I want to thank Ima for calling in. Ima actually, you know, Ima is one who I met years ago and have interfaced with over the years, from the prayer line with Sister Kokavia to Take Time to Heal to the sister, you know what I'm saying? And so Ima is one of them, as well as Sister Mayana is in New York, so she met up with Ima. They're doing positive things in the community, as well as Sister Aisha, and taking things from off virtual spaces and putting it into real time. Ima is definitely one who has supported in different spaces that we've done, and actually willing to pull our coattail when we're going off. So I definitely appreciate her for being true to form and calling in and letting her voice be heard. I love you.
All right. Once again, we appreciate your call, Ima. Let's go to the next caller. Once again, the number is 347-627. 319-527-6239. Let's go to 478-213 live.
Hey, what's going on, Sal, man? Great to be back on the show again. I know I'm going to be back on tomorrow. I just wanted for clarity so I can have true understanding on why. I want to know why the sister is actually leaving the show. From her perspective, why she's going to be gone. I want to hear from her why she's actually going. So if you could, please, Emunah, could you explain clearly for me, the reasons why you feel that you need to go, or you are leaving, or you feel like it's best for you? Could you please explain and clarify for me, please? And then I also want to address, when you're done, I also want to address some of the things that the brother had to say that just called in. I'm sorry.
Okay, I missed in the beginning. Who's calling? Hello?
Sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. I muted myself so I can hear you speak. This is Twan.
It's who?
Twan.
Who is it? Twan. Okay.
Twan. Yeah.
Okay, Antoine. Okay, thank you so much. Like I said, as we were talking, then we went to the calls. The lead up is essentially a difference of principled opinions, I suppose, as to the direction and what I actually came on to do and where the conversation is going now. As Sal said, I came on to kind of bridge this gap between the feminine principle and the masculine principle, and ultimately, because there are so many different affiliations, it became between the Messianic and non-Messianic conversation. And so that's what I've done consecutively as well, with the help of Sister Mayana, Brother Awar, and later on those who came onto the platform. As things progressed and I was called in different places to begin to branch out, then I have to present myself in a way that role called for. And so when now I got some heat for the Messianic divide, and that was okay, because by that time I was definitely prepared to have that conversation. But a lot of people may have not seen me in that capacity. And, when you begin to what some may think as switch up, then it becomes like, okay, what's going on here? But I still played the facilitator in that role, trying to get an understanding of what's going on, whether or not we can get beyond it, or whether or not we need to go our own separate ways. When the show was off, that was that. And then when I came back, there's still some things that are circulating around. So when I came back, I was asked by Brother Davon, Brother Chris, Brother Ilan, to come on, as well as Sister Mayana, there's going to be another trial. Now, I had an opportunity to hear the trial. These are the things that I was talking about that I wasn't too, it didn't sit well with me. When I heard what was supposed to be the trial, it wasn't that. It was fair. It wasn't fair. It was unjust weights. The way in which the people were addressed, not getting enough time. I heard all of that. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I wasn't in that arena, and so I'm just observing what's going on. Maybe that's brothers talking, whatever the case may be. And so now when those who have saw what we can add to the conversation ask us to come on, I took a different position because I had to, because the request called for that. So when I began to do some research on some of the things that has transpired on the platform and the way people are being treated, for me, there was a issue between what is said to happen and what was actually happening. And understand now I'm going to be preparing to step into this arena, right? And so you begin to look at the personalities of the people, what's going on, who debated who in times past, and how did that go, and all of that type of stuff, right? So that leads us up to having to be in contact and communication with our brothers and sisters as we're trying to plan for this exchange, okay? When ultimately I hear what would have been 2 weeks ago, so this is all the backstory. 2 weeks ago I hear this conversation from Brother Josh about all Torah only. And some people will say a hit dog will holler, I chew my condom.
You said all Torah only?
99, right, yes. So there's a conversation that comes out in the guise of a teaching that actually did not sound like a teaching on the Shabbat day, no less.
I thought he said
it was what many perceived as an attack, okay? But it was a challenge that was issued, okay? It was a challenge that was issued. So I told Brother Sal that I'm not going to come on the relationship challenge I will appear under the peer review and take a look at what's going on here, take a look at the position that was forwarded, and respectfully respond to it. And myself and Sister Mayana took that charge, and we did that. Now, for me, that would have been an opportunity to engage the information, but that's ultimately not what happened. After the information was engaged, if you look on the countless videos, I usually don't jump in comment section and beef with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I usually don't do that. So after the information is forwarded and both sides are going to respectively fall on whatever side they fall on. And the thought is we're going to keep it clean and respectful. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. And that turns the tide of many things that's going to have myself, Brother Sal, and all parties involved to essentially take a side on how you perceive what's happening and how it's reflecting on your position here at Debate Talk for You, because we're talking about me being positioned here for 3 years at Debate Talk for You. So this is, if you want more answers to the question, so ultimately...
I got you. No, that's a great answer.
Okay.
No,
but let me just finish.
You did a good job. You did a good job. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Right. So ultimately, what comes to me is not inquiry about my position. What comes to me is what was confirmed to be an ultimatum. Right? Because the thought is that I'm pursuing this, and it's looking bad. I'm pursuing Josh. You understand what I'm saying? And that wasn't the case. That was certainly not the case, and it's not necessarily breaking form from what we have done in other spaces, such as reviewing other things that have come up in the community. But for some reason, this particular instance spiraled to where now people have to stand on their squares, so to speak. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's where I am. That's where I'm at today.
No, I understand I understand exactly what you're saying. So I'm asking, and you explained yourself well. I understand, you went through the history of everything and how you felt. You said you felt that within the comments, like you've never gone into the comment sections to do all of this stuff and all of that stuff explained. So I guess my question is, why exactly, because you said there was like a disconnect as far as the ultimatum. Can you explain that part to me to clarify? I guess that's my question. Could you clarify the ultimatum that is like the holdup?
Yeah.
Essentially,
clarify the ultimatum.
Yeah, essentially, it's the thought that I am actively pursuing or in a back and forth with Josh. If you look at the tape, that's not what I'm doing. You understand? And so it's a failure in communication, but it's also reflective of a stance that was taken. And given, as I just said, the history, that showed me that, as I read in the beginning of Ecclesiastes, the time has come. You understand what I'm saying? The time has come. And so I didn't take it necessarily as, I just took it as, okay, the time has come. You see what I'm saying? Because I asked Brother Stalin, he's there, so you can ask him. I asked him clearly. He wanted me to move on and get back to what I was doing. But again, this issue that I see arise with the way in which Brother Josh is addressing the people or not addressing the specific people, and the dangers of throwing a wide net over an entire set of people and using very descriptive, disparaging language, right, to classify instead of people that I myself and others that I know fall under, it's a dangerous. And so to do that, I've said it. Wait, hold on, brother.
I don't think he was talking about you particularly, because he was talking about. I heard the lesson that he was talking about, and I don't. Well, unless you put yourself under that umbrella of the people that he was talking about, because I heard it, and I heard him actually, specifying that it wasn't all of them. But I don't think you want to put yourself under that umbrella, because I know that that there are some people, just like in the Messianic group, there are some people that he would say the same thing about, because he said it in the show itself that some of y'all Messianics do the same exact thing. So I don't think you want to put yourself under the umbrella of the people that he was also talking about too. So I don't think you want to put yourself under that. I just want to clarify.
Okay, this is Mayana. Brother, this is Mayana. Listen, what the brother did, you said you listened. What the brother said was, I would have anyone. At that point, it's a zero-sum game. There's not a 99.9. There's no possibly the 0.1%. He said anyone to answer this challenge. So at that point, Emunah, myself, or anybody else can answer the challenge without anyone saying to us, well, he didn't call your name. At that point, he doesn't have to.
Right. No, I agree. I think you're absolutely right with that. I think the issue that most people had with you guys' response was that, even though, we could play semantics and play on names, because we can't say that he said 99% and then not say that he said, I ain't talking about all of y'all, because we I
didn't say that, what I said, and let's be clear on what I said. I said he said anyone. So this which makes your point now completely moot. He didn't say 99.9. He said anyone can answer this challenge. So I don't know who has an issue with someone answering the challenge when he said anyone could do it.
Hold on. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think both of you are well within your rights to answer his challenge. I'm not saying that you shouldn't or that you can't, that you were wrong for attempting to answer the challenge. I think the issue comes when you guys responded to the challenge is the actual response to what he was actually challenging. I think that there's a disconnect within that. What he was actually trying to get you, not necessarily you guys, but somebody from that Torah-only mindset to respond to. I think the disconnect is with what he was like, okay, I want you to talk about this or talk about that. That was the challenge, and not necessarily a peer review, because a peer review is not what he was asking. So that's
interesting, because if you go back to the tape, he specifically said, tell me how I'm doing. He specifically said, I'm going to teach a Tanakh lesson, and I want you to tell me whether or not Josh knows what he's talking about. That is what he asked us to do. Now, I can get the time marker for you. I have the transcript. He asked for us to review.
Hold on. I've been patient. I want you to get everything out. So I'm gonna step back and I'm be quiet. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, make sure it's one at a time. Go ahead.
No, let
okay. No, what you're saying. I want us to be clear, because I just want us to be clear on what Josh actually said and what we actually did. So to the point of he wasn't talking to us, we just established that he absolutely was talking to everyone, because he says anyone. And then to the point of, well, that's not what he wanted you to review. He specifically said, I'm going to go into a lesson. I want you to review whether or not I know what I'm talking about. So so to tell us that unless you can point out where we didn't do, he says to do this thing and we didn't do that, that's what we asked for the people to do. What we're hearing is a lot of...
Okay, I get you.
Okay.
I hear you. No, I'm saying, okay, so that's what you got from the challenge. What I got from the challenge is that he wanted, and I thought I heard him say this several times, and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought the point of the challenge was for Tanakh onlys to come on Debate Talk for You and do lessons teaching about the Torah. And from the Torah, like things about the Sabbath day or the feast days or how we should love or how, forgiveness from the Torah or some about the commandments or something like that. That's what I got from it. Instead of lessons on Debate Talk to You constantly attacking the New Testament or attacking Jesus or attacking, whatever they were attacking, this is what I got from listening to it, and I thought I heard him say it over and over and over again. That's what he wanted them to do as far as their lesson was concerned. And when it becomes to the point about the peer review, I hear what you're saying, was when he was coming about, as far as the peer review, was the actual scripture that he was going to. Like, what scripture did he go to in his presentation to say that, or what do you say, if you want to challenge or review it, what scripture did he actually go to that said, okay, you shouldn't be, no, Josh was wrong when he went here, or Josh was wrong about this, or Josh was wrong about that? Because I agree that not all Tanakh onlys do that. But I also agree, and I agree because Josh also said it too, that not all of them act like that. But I agree that, not all Tanakh onlys do that, but Tanakh onlys, I also agree that I don't recall, and I know you said you've been on Debate Talk for You for about 3-some years. Well, I know Josh and Absolute Bible Truth have been on Debate Talk for You since season 1, since it started. And I'm going to be patient. Yeah, sister. I'm speaking.
I'm trying to.
So
I'm fine.
No, go ahead.
We reviewed some of this. I'm not getting the feeling that you listened to what we said, because one of the things we said, we addressed the fact that, as you said, you heard us say we've been on for the last 4 years. This is the 4th season that we've been on together on this specific platform. So if the challenge, the way you understood it, you didn't hear the original where he said this is what the challenge is and asked us to review his work, but all you heard was the later parts of the challenge and not the initial one, that's fine. Let's say all you heard was him saying.
I just said that like not even 2 minutes ago. I just said that I already talked about the initial challenge. Where did he go that showed that he was wrong? Let me finish
to demonstrate that I heard everything that you said. So in addition to us reviewing his material, the idea of he wants to see someone who is Tanakh only, teaching only the Tanakh. If you listen to our broadcast, we said repeatedly that one of the other issues we had with that statement was all you have to do is check the catalog. The relationship challenge doesn't go around trying to attack or dagger messianics. We're doing what he tells people, what he's saying no one is doing. We already have met the challenge he put out, because that's what the relationship challenge did. That's what Under the Palm did. That's what every conversation Emunah and I have done on the Debate Talk for You for a year. So the idea that he's waiting for someone to do what we have been doing for 4 years, that is, I think I said on record, that's absurd. We already did it. Why would you challenge us to do what we've already done?
I don't think you should say absurd, because that might be offensive to people.
Why?
Because people have problems with people saying absurd or silly or delusional when they all mean the same thing. So
no, when I say that a comment is absurd, I didn't say Josh was absurd. When Josh said that we were silly, delusional women, that is a direct insult to the woman. I never said that he was an absurd person. No, now that's different.
You might not be.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. One at a time. Yeah.
To bring whatever you guys to us in the comment section into this conversation, so the people who are listening in don't know that for 182 comments you have been insulting Emunah and I. Right now you are repeating all the things in those comment sections. So I want that to be on record. That's what you're talking about now. You're trying to sneak all that into this conversation. Now, if we want to talk about what tonight's about, which is Emunah leaving, we should do that. If you want to talk about the peer review, we'll be discussing that in about an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. You can definitely come over and talk to Emunah and I about our peer review. But that's not what this conversation is about.
Yeah, they're going to have a show, actually, where people can peer review them on what their previous show. So definitely go check that out. But I just want to say this for the record, as far as bringing up seeing certain things on the platform that's not necessarily going a certain type of way. There are going to be those kind of shows. Not all the shows are great. There's some shows that I can say, okay, man, that could have went better. And there's other shows that were like that's classics. I mean, it's all a part of radio. You're going to have shows like that. But in regards to Emunah, are you back? Are you back, Emunah? You there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, because Mayana jumped in. In regards to the ultimatum, let's make that thing clear to the people. What I said to you was basically, after you do your next class in regards to or whatever, whether peer review, a few class or whatever, let's go back to the formula, the original formula, which was to, do the relationship challenge type style of things. You didn't say yes, you didn't say no. You just went on to, what you thought, as far as, where things are going now with the whole Josh situation. And I was just trying to, say, let's, okay, I hear you, but let's get back to that formula, and you said pretty much, and then, is this an ultimatum? So I said, you know what, if you want to put it much in a nutshell, yes. that's the case. Because if we can't work, if we can't go that particular route, because I see it, I hear from the fans, I hear from the people. First of all, they don't like the male versus female dynamic. People don't like that. That's one. Two, you're a host on a program, right? So you represent the brand meat, basically. You represent their brand in itself. You know, the things you're doing, stuff like that. There's other hosts. There's BA. There's Anonymous. There's Shanti. There's Mayana, right? Let's say, hypothetically speaking, I'll let you do those things, and you do, like Mayana said in the social media, that every time Josh does a Tanakh challenge, you're going to address that. Right, Mayana? You can confirm that for record? I
actually wasn't paying attention to. What was the question? Yeah, for the record, I'll confirm. What was the question?
Oh, you wasn't paying attention? Okay. Well, I got your attention now. Let the family know that you said, pretty much that every time Josh does a show, that you will address that when it's the Tanakh challenge. You will address that. I just want to get a confirmation on that. Yes, yeah, nay.
Yeah, of course I did. I said it on the air, and I think I said, and I definitely said it in the comment section. I said if he comes here, no. If he comes here, let's be clear on what I said.
No, I'm very clear. I got you. I mean, why you? Okay,
then no. Can I? I'm gonna say no if you're not going to. What I'm verifying.
I hear you. I can hear you, but I didn't clear. I just said.
Based on you, to say something. No, it's not all, because you know what, Sal?
Yes, it is all. I just asked you one question. I said, say yay or nay. Obviously, you're emotionally,
but you're not putting all the information out there. If that's what we're doing, is that what we're doing? We're not going to put all the information out there?
I'm trying to put the information out there.
I just want to make sure. I'm going to ask you yay or nay. We're going to put all the information.
No, of course we're going to put the information out. That's what we're doing now. That's what we're here for. Relax.
Okay, so can I give the rest of the information? We're going to just put what you want to put out there.
That's what. No, well, we're going to do all of that. We're going to put out all the information out there. But so
yay to yours. Now, can I give the rest of the information?
Stand by. You're going to get the stand by. There's people listening. So, gonna have to, talk in a certain type of way. But so basically that you put it out there that every time Josh does a Tanakh challenge, you will address that, or you will do a show about that. And congratulations on the views. You got a lot of views on that. Congratulations.
You're welcome.
However, I just, as a producer of this program, and understanding as a host that you represent, me, I was just saying we need to go to a certain direction, back to, the formula where nobody's looking at anybody biased, because I hear the feedback. I hear people talking about different things, and I don't want anybody looking at you ladies in a certain type of light. That was my thing. But, y'all didn't want to hear that. You didn't want to hear that. And, we just can't agree on where I think we need to go. And that's where it lies, where the divide happens. Because I'm telling you, let's go to a certain direction.
Now can I answer this? So you told me to let you finish. Now you're going.
Stand by. I mean, listen. First of all, this is supposed to be Emunah here too. Just Emunah. You're jumping in, so stand by. Can you just stand by? This is a farewell for Emunah. I wasn't paying attention. I'm just okay. Well, if you're not, I don't know if you're paying attention or not, because you're saying 1 minute you are, 1 minute you're not. I don't know. I don't get it. but I get it. Just farewell for Emunah. Right. So stand by. You gotta get your chance to speak. So yeah, I just want to make it clear to the audience that that's what I did. I just wanted her to go back to a certain direction. If you check the show 4 years ago, 3 years ago, it was a certain type of direction it was at that time that it's not necessarily today. And third point, if I were to let this happen, that leaves room for the other hosts to do the same. Anonymous Hebrew. All the other hosts would be able to do the same, and, it would be just people getting at all type of, just be out of control. So at some point, it had to stop at a certain point. But go ahead. You can speak now.
Can I say something? This is
wait, no, I finally get to speak. I mean, it's not like he called my name, asked me, didn't stop me from speaking. But here's what happened. Yes, I did say that if he came on the platform and he was out of pocket, that we would review it every time he did that. And I said that I wasn't going to be intimidated out of not doing that. Furthermore, what you're not telling the people, which is very weird because we had a 3-hour conversation about this, is that after I said that, you called me with 2 of the other brothers and asked me to reconsider that. And on the phone with you, I did that. All of us know that I reconsidered that, so I don't know why you're omitting that. You're not telling the people that even though I said that, I said, I hear you, I'll reconsider it, and I said that to you. So why aren't you telling the people that? Why are you leaving it with, Anna, didn't you say that? Didn't you say that? Can I get a confirmation?
You said
I said
you
something else
reconsider.
after that.
Stand by.
I get a confirmation?
Stand by. You said you reconsider, right? But you didn't get back to me and say, you know what? You didn't. Hold on. You didn't get back to me and say, you know what? You'll say you'll think about it. You'll reconsider. You said more than reconsider. You said you'll think about it. I'll reconsider. Whatever. I'll think about it. For you guys, I'll think about it. Right? That's what you said.
Right. And did I do anything contrary?
But you didn't get back to me and say, listen, this is what I decided to do. I just see an advertisement on, social media that you're doing another Tanakh Challenge show. So I'm like,
and
okay.
that's actually, for 3 hours, we talked about that. You apologized to us because that's not what that flyer says. That flyer is not a Tanakh challenge. Mm-hmm. That flyer plainly says we are going to review our own work and open up the record so the people can tell us what we did wrong, like that brother that called in and said, I think that you misunderstood the brother. We were going to give all those people an opportunity. They were talking to us in the comment section to engage us, talk to us, help us reconsider, help us look at ourselves so we can rethink ourselves and our conduct in that conversation. It had nothing to do with Josh. I read it to you. 3 times until you finally apologized to us for telling us you misunderstood that flyer.
Yeah, because you said that it wasn't about Josh, that particular show you're doing, later on today.
Right.
You said it's for the people.
Correct.
And right. So I had a different concept of it, and you presented what it was, something totally I didn't think you were doing. So you said that people would call in and peer review you for what you've done on that show. So I didn't think you were doing that. So for that, I apologize. So yeah, it's right. You're right.
So that again.
Right
so I. Sticking to the last thing I said to you, I'm proving to you. You said, but you didn't ever get back to me. I don't know what you're going to do. The next time I saw you, you're having another Tanakh challenge. That's obviously not what happened. I had a conversation with you saying I will bethink myself and then put it out for the people to help me. And Emunah signed up. She's like, okay, Maya, good idea. Let's do it together. So let the people let what we did. So that's me holding up and doing what I said I would do.
Yeah, but I also brought up the question, what if somebody calls and asks you, of course they were going to bring up Josh's name, is the show still not about Josh? You said no. So I'm like, okay.
I said to you, I told you to give me an example. If they call in and say something about Josh that's not about our topic, we would tell them. I said I would tell them that's not what we're here to talk about. Did I or did I not say that?
Right. You said it's not about Josh. It's not about Josh over and over. Yes, it's not. Even if the caller calls in, you would say, it's not about
always
Josh.
To stay on topic because that's the way I think. That's the way I think.
Well, hold on. Like I said, that's so you made it clear, even if the caller's calling and asks about Josh, that it's still not about Josh. So therefore, I say, okay, since you put it in it that way, I apologize. And yeah, I did. So I'm a man enough to say I apologize. It's not a problem. That's fine. But as far as the ultimatum, so you can talk about it. Emunah, talk about that. I just feel like pretty much I told you let's go back to a certain direction that you should have been willing to do because we've been doing that. But I just feel like personally that you didn't want to go that direction. There's other things that you want. You wanted to continue on a certain path, and I didn't think it was good, for you or for the ladies, to be doing that, the back and forth thing over and over with no end. Like when it's going to stop, it has to end at some particular point, and that wasn't respected. But go ahead.
Again, for those of the listening audience who just joined us, this is Debate Talk for You. We are saying farewell to Emunah Ysrael. I am she. We're having a discussion, a real conversation about how miscommunication, how assertions and assumptions lead to certain spaces. Everything is a teaching moment and an opportunity for us to learn. So prayerfully, we're not taking this opportunity to be like, ooh, but really learn from what's happening. As I was saying, the ultimatum, as again, you're hearing a discourse happening from Sister Mayana to Brother Child about how something was perceived and not asking sufficient enough questions. So when the ultimatum comes down the pipe to me, no questions were asked. I did not have any discussions. There were assumptions made and assertions. And so I was expected to answer to something that I did not have a personal conversation about. Neither was I guilty for. The peer review that was done with the information that Josh presented, by the way, is not the first time it was done. There was another peer review that looked at Brother Divine Prospect's assertions that he was making in the community. He invited Brother Divine Prospect. He got on the line. He had a conversation. It was over, right? And so it's not the first time that we had another brother, Kwete, ask us to take a look at one of his books. So it's not the first time that we've looked over some information. However, it is the first time that we've been drugged this degree in the comment section. It is the first time that we've been called all out of our name just for being respectable, calling the brother a brother, and addressing some inaccuracies that he presented in his class. And so it went from keeping it clean and professional, how the Debate Talk for You staff stood by and watched Brother Josh do what he did, as well as some of his supporters in the comment section. And at that time, the tide has changed. The tide began to change, but at that time, it's like, okay, and if anyone desires, I bid you go over there and look, and please review the information that I put up there. And the most I did was invite people to have an open dialogue. Understand? So when Sal is coming to me, making an assumption, I'm like, okay. I never told you I was going to relentlessly pursue him. I said what I needed to say. I saw the comments, and I said my piece, and that was pretty much it. You understand what I'm saying? So in that space, I felt that and I must say, I do find Josh's delivery highly inflammatory. You understand? Whoever wants to make an how he delivers, what he delivers, you cannot insult and verbally berate people and abuse them and then think at the end of the day it's all good in the hood. It doesn't work like that. So yes, I take issue with that, and by extension I take issue if that type of behavior is allowed, period. One should not do it. As Iman just called in and said, he shall not do it, and another one should not do it. You should not be called silly and thirsty and stupid and Jezebel and wicked, all these things, all these beautiful, colorful adjectives, because you didn't like what the person said. That behavior is unacceptable. And if I stay on knowing that I'm going to go away quietly and resume talking about this laying with the woman, make her your wife, while I'm still on a platform that's allowing this type of behavior, that will cause an internal issue within me. And I can't allow for that. I have to sleep at night. See what I'm saying? And so that is the stuff that if a phone call would have been asked, then I could have expressed that. But that opportunity wasn't afforded me, and so I just took it for what it was. So that is my take on the ultimatum and why I ultimately gave the ball back into House Court and let him know that he already made his choice.
But for the record also, Emunah, even since when you first got here, there's a lot of teachers that come, you know this, a series of different teachers come on the show. And some topics that, you like polygyny, that's a strong topic. There's some people out here that came on this program and they support it, and, as a host, we will voice our opinions on it behind the scenes. But, you wouldn't just, as a matter of fact, you did shows about polygyny. And, well, you would never put certain people, maybe you didn't hear the classes of other people that did shows like that on my program. What I'm saying is there's a lot of different people that have different unorthodox ways or different ways of teaching. And, of course, tune in for those teachers that you like and tune in for the people that you don't like. It's a radio show. You're not going to like every single thing that comes on the platform. It's a radio show. That's just clear. It's a radio program. But, it's up to you to pick, what you want to address and what you don't want to address. So I don't want you to, because you hear certain shows, think that, put the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. It's a radio show. You're going to hear there's different segments, there's different content on here. And, if you listen to certain things, you like it, tune in and tune out if you don't like things. So, but there's other callers, though, family. There's other callers. Let's get to the callers. 240-731, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, Brother Sal? This is Brother Shaquin, a.k.a. Brother KC.
Hey, KC, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm just listening to the show, man, and I just wanted to say that with that show, I was the first individual to put a comment in your YouTube section, and I just put a comment, and it was nothing derogatory, nothing against these women at all, and I just put on there when I read the title of the video, the class or the show, I thought it was an actual class. And I just was like, okay, well, where is the class that was refuting the information that Brother Josh brought? And it wasn't you, Emunah. It wasn't you, Sister Emunah. I got to give it to you. You, and I was in the thread. I was in the thread a lot. And you did not come out and, just was constantly going at people. But the other one, Mayana, came at me from the jump, and I didn't say anything that was wrong, and you came out with daggers. You may not have thought you did, but you did. And I caught.
Okay, why don't you read my comment? What did I say?
Excuse me?
What did I say?
I'm not
you don't know?
It right now, but you basically what you said was, well, we addressed the class and you need to press play on the video. Something of that nature.
Should I read it? Should I read it? Should I read it? Are you afraid? Would you mind if I go and get it and read it?
Go ahead and read it. Read it.
One at a time.
Read it.
Not a problem.
Yeah, you can. All right, one at a time.
None of us should have actual facts. I will do that. Let me go get it for you. Continue to talk while I get the actual facts. Continue, please.
No, I want you to read it.
Yeah, let her read it.
Let her read it. I didn't expect for you to come in and try to cause accusations and not me to go get it.
I didn't cause any accusations.
Stand by.
What I put on there.
Calm down. You're live on there.
I'm gonna mute you for a minute. Stand by. Let her read it, and then I'm gonna bring you back in. Go ahead.
I'll let you know when I have it. So go ahead and let the brother speak. I'm going to go through the 182 comments to find it.
Okay. I'm letting us.
Who is he again? Who's the person that said?
It was the very first comment.
The very first comment.
Okay, the first comment on when I go in is me, and it's not him, which is why, once again, I need to know what name I'm looking for.
Whatever. Just, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't really matter.
It does matter.
But
Truth always matters.
I did not come with any malice or anything. But you
so was my answer malice? You have to now.
Hold on.
The only questions that I came with was that why didn't you do a class? And you stated that we went to some scriptures. I asked, why didn't you go to the scriptures that the brother brought out and refute them?
We did.
You came with
we did.
Comments.
That's why I probably said. You said, "Where do we do it?" I said, "Press play."
No. What you came out with was that
he brought out. He only brought out two.
You had the transcript. You had the transcript.
Correct.
You had some 90-page or whatever transcript that you
97
read
pages.
the day before, whatever it was, and that's fine. And I just pointed out. I said the brother was not talking to you guys. I said he's not talking to you sisters because the simple fact, you don't do that. And I said, the people he said that he was talking to were those who actually did the act that he brought out in the class. And you just went in.
Here's the answer. This brother is on the platform under the name Brother KC, a.k.a. Jacan. He says, where is the answer to the challenge? And then he puts an emoticon with the, I don't know, shrug face. And then he says, can I get a review of the information he brought forth from the Tanakh? My response was, good morning. Because I'm such a nasty person. Good morning. The information Josh brought forward was addressed several times. You can find it by pressing play. I'm sorry, what nasty attitude did I give you again? Would you like a screenshot of my reply?
Continue reading.
Yes, that was my entire comment. Then you come back.
No,
then you come back. After I say good morning to you, you come back.
You brought it out as if I didn't listen to it when I listened to the entire thing.
Excuse me, you came on here and said that I was nasty to you when you asked the question. I just read for the public my reply, which is still there for everyone to see. I literally said good morning to you. Said the information Josh brought forward was pressed several times.
Do you not see
you
what I'm
can
talking
find
about?
it by pressing play.
Do
so
you not
again,
see what
tell
I'm
the people
talking
how I
about?
was so mean to you.
Why would you come out and say that press play as if I didn't listen to it?
Because you asked where is the answer to the challenge. Like literally, we answered the challenge in the first 20 minutes. That says to me you didn't listen to it. Good morning, sir.
So in other words,
answered it several times. You can find it by pressing play. That's what I said to you.
In other words, Cole, you took that as a condescending comment as far as you know, because you listened to the whole show.
And that's
how
not
you took
the only.
Okay.
That is
how you feel about something?
The
fact is, I said good morning to you.
And I am not about to go through all of those comments to show how she was just going at individuals because of the simple fact they agreed with the information that Josh brought forth Okay.
You didn't agree. You asked me a question. It's a challenge. I gave you an answer. Why did you?
One at a time.
One could argue that you were being facetious in the comments by saying, "Where is the answer?"
In no way did I. And none of my comments was I facetious against you or anybody else. I just asked a simple question, and I even posed the example of me being a Christian and someone actually calling in and saying that, hey, you Christians always celebrated these pagan holidays, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And I said, it's not dealing with me. I'm not going to even answer that because the simple fact that individual is not even talking to me.
Okay, that's showing the people that you were the one that had an issue with us, and it's not proving that we had an issue with you. You came on here to say that I was mean to you. When I read my response is clearly not mean to you.
All right, you know what?
Conversation.
Now, let me just say this.
Have a great night.
Let me just say this. No, I don't have no good night. Because feminism is off the chain.
Whenever I'm nice, look at how upset you are.
Whatever. Let me just say goodbye. Because the simple fact,
bye, shalom,
bye, shalom. Take care of yourself.
All right, now.
Love you.
All right.
Bye.
All right now. All right. Now I see. Temperatures are getting high. Okay. We have a lot more callers standing by though. Emunah, you want to say something before we move on to the next caller? Go ahead.
Again, for those who are calling in, who this is very unorthodox version of discussion. But once again, there's a lot of emotions that are involved. There's a lot of emotional investment. To be honest, when I first moved to Sal, I was upset. You know what I'm saying? I was very upset for different reasons.
Yes.
But and Sal was like, "Oh, Emunah, where's the healing?" And I'm like, "I'm upset. So this is what you're gonna get."
Yeah, I did say that. Go ahead.
Okay, where's the healing? I'm like, it's right here, and I'm gonna let you know how it is that I feel about certain things. But it's understandable because of how people are perceiving. Again, I didn't go in looking for people who didn't. And then, if people have the right to agree or disagree, my contention is when it's being allowed, when it clearly states no, foul language, and that includes verbal attacks. It didn't warrant it, essentially. If there was a question, one could have simply asked. It did not warrant, the whole first of all, second of all, third of all, and talk about everything, about the individual that you know nothing about. I think that was totally inappropriate, and it lends, it takes credibility from his lesson. And concerning whether or not we went over his lesson, I didn't want to refute the part about contention and strife. I wanted to add to it. And so that's what we did. We added for the first hour plus added to, because when he went to bring out contention and strife, again, the message was skewed, and I did say that in my response. It didn't start from the beginning. It didn't look, and if you listen to what I'm sharing, I'm sharing, yes, I agree that contention and strife, but by the work that I do, you have to look at the source of contention and strife. So we talked about Abraham and Lot. We talked about Israel in the wilderness. We talked about lack of resources. We spoke about lessons that you can learn because, again, right now one would tune in and say, well, this is contentious and this is strifeful. What is the root cause of it? What's the issue, right? And that's what I've always been concentrating on. And so I wanted to say that, yes, people who are tuning in may not know the backstory, and there was a lot that happened in the 2 weeks, and it was unacceptable. But like I said, concerning my position, a lot of stuff came towards me that wasn't warranted. As you heard the caller say, I didn't turn up, and from what I'm reading from what Sister Mayana said, because I haven't spoke to her, it was enumerating the spaces in which Josh, it can be perceived as an ad hominem attack. And that's what she did. Went through all of the spaces in which unnecessarily we were called out of our names. So concerning this back and forth between male and female and this battle, we speak to males all the time. And so you have to look at the track record. If we speak to males over the last 3 seasons all the time, and it was not always smooth, but we were able to resolve it and come back to the table, then is it us? That's my question, and that was, and I realized Sal didn't give me the benefit of the doubt that if I'm able to have a war come back to the table, Brother Mercy calls in all the time. I'm hearing them out and having discussions with them and getting places. How then now does this fall squarely in my lap to finally say, listen, I'm going to speak out on this issue, and I'm limited or censored in the way in which I can say this is a concern. And I addressed it in only the way that I know how, and that's what happened, and it's on record. Thankfully, it is on record so that you can go and make your own decision, about what you feel about what you saw and what you heard.
Yeah, I personally feel like where the problem lies is when it comes to Awarded Swordsman and COTTAGE, all those brothers again that was on the relationship challenge. It was different style of debates. I guess you want to put it that way. It was more of a sit at the table, let's talk. We may disagree on some things, but it's a conversation piece. Whereas with this, when it comes to the Josh situation, people taking it as some people taking it as a criticism, or they're taking it a whole another way. And of course, everybody has their own different type of perception when it comes to critiquing some of these shows. And I think that's where the difference just comes. But let's go to the next person though. Let's go to 469-245 live. 469-245. You are live. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I was on mute. This is Shaka Diva. I just wanted to say to Emunah that, and all of you guys, I've been listening to the conversation, and I hate that it's going this way. I recently just went through the same thing. And I think oftentimes when we join platforms and we unite with men, sometimes it is like if you don't agree or are going with the vision, and you seem to be, I even hate to say this word, but it's true, rebellious. Like you're rebelling against me. And so then we have to wonder if the behavior, if the attitudes, or if what is posted online it hasn't been communicated and it has the vision being shared with one another and being communicated properly. But besides that, I want to say, to Sister Emunah, I appreciate. I'm sorry, my dad was trying to get some garlic bread. But other than that, I would like to say thank you.
Yeah, you sound a little low. You sound kind of low.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say to Sister Emunah, it's been an honor having you on my platform and sitting with you on this platform. Before I said a word, I heard you ladies speak. And it has empowered me and mobilized me to do the same. And as women speak in the community, we are constantly attacked. Like, you shouldn't say anything. You should be silent. You should be this. You should be that. That definitely happens. And so going forward, I just like to say it's been an honor, sitting with you, having these dialogues, having these conversations. It's been an honor to hear women actually be knowledgeable about the Bible and move that way. We don't have many opportunities and spaces for that. And so even that has been under attack in the last 2 weeks about whether we're doing the work or we're talking about certain things going on in our community. And so my hope is that you all can somehow come to a hashing out of this, because what are we going to do without a woman voice? What are we going to do without women speaking in our community? And I know that people, you want people to be in line with you, and I understand that style, having a platform. You want people to be in line with you in what you say, but it's never that way. Even the people I'm closest to, we disagree on things. It's just how you do so and how you respect one another. And speaking from a woman who came from under a man's platform, what you expect is someone to protect you and speak up for you. And if they feel like you're wrong, let's have the conversation, So shalom to all of you. I hope that this works out, that you can continue the good work in having both male and female representatives.
I appreciate your call. Emunah, you can respond.
Thank you for that. That was the voice of Sister Sheikah Akiva. Thank you for calling in. Let your voice be heard. I appreciate your sentiments. There are many people who have reached out who have been listening for a long time, have never said anything, and you don't know to what. Sometimes you labor and you think your labor is in vain, but then you have moments like this where the Most High helps you to understand that, you did your portion. And, if you do it with a clean heart and good intentions, the Most High will bring the increase, And so I just want the people to know that I'm not going to stop having conversations or stop having discussions. They will continue as they have, as Brother Sal brought to your attention. They have and will continue. They may not necessarily continue in the same capacity. Again, I don't shy away from having respectful male and female conversation, and that's why this particular last exchange was kind of shocking, and to see the responses, like you said, of the males on the platform that usually would have been that protective barrier, not stepping in and not saying anything, except for putting the onus back on, in this case, me, And so with that, I thought that was telling. Here, for whatever the reason is, it was telling. And so I love all of y'all, man. You know what I mean? If I didn't, my children are here, I wouldn't dedicate on Monday night for umpteen nights in a row. There's a lot of back work that you don't see. There's a lot of green room information. There's a lot of me and Mayana chopping it up and seeing what are the needs of the people. She's mostly in the trenches, as she calls it, and she sees information or situations or topic that we need to address. And then finding men who are willing to talk about it respectfully. Like, that was a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of labor so that you can have this catalog. And just know that it was done and created in love, but I cannot be in confederacy at this point and just going back into my cubbyhole in my respective spaces, knowing that this type of stuff is happening where I am. Because in the same way, the thought that where I go, it reflects on the platform, what happens on the platform reflects on me. You see what I'm saying? And I have space and agency outside of the platform. You see what I'm saying? And so I have to think about how what's happening and what's going on is reflecting on me and what it is that I'm trying to do. My family, we're business owners, we're business people. This is the internet. You know what I'm saying? This is the internet. This is not our little cubby hole somewhere on Power Talk. This is to the world. And so you have to put on record where you stand. And I do not.
It's not
Power Talk in the sense that you can just be closed off. This is to the world. You don't know who's listening. So I have to go on record by saying, no, I don't agree with abuse. I don't agree with pushing out people on the street corners. I don't agree with domestic abuse and child abuse. I don't agree with any of that stuff. And neither do I agree with a brother dragging his sisters because he didn't like what they said. So thank you so much, Sister Chica, for calling in.
All right, family, we're opening up the phone lines. Once again, the number is 319-527-6239. Feel free to call in. And, this is a farewell to the First Lady, Emunah Ysrael. First Lady to host the program and, bring the female element to Debate Talk for You Radio. As people know or may not know, I've received a lot of flack. I've fought for the ladies to be on this program. The ladies know about that. I still fight sometimes with people, because who don't want to hear women speak, so to speak. So, but let's go to the phone lines. So, okay, let's go to 510-917. You're live. 510.
Hey, hello.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Hey, what's going on? I can hear you. What's up?
All right. Not much. This is Benny D. I'm just calling to chime in. Shalom to the sisters. Shalom to you too, Sal. I just wanted to call in and say sorry, go ahead.
Shalom, we just said shalom.
Let's say shalom. Let's say shalom, that's all.
Oh, okay.
You got the floor.
Yeah, I'm just chiming in because I hear that you're leaving. I'm what you call a messianic, so to speak, I guess. I think everybody's a messianic, but I believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, But I just think that it's kind of sad, you know what I mean, that it's kind of ending like this, especially how long y'all been platform on here. I think that you guys come with a lot of informative stuff. Might not agree on everything, but it's just sad to see that it comes to an end like this. over some kind of, I think it's a misunderstanding, because I think that when he did the lesson, I don't think he was really pointing at y'all, because I've never heard you guys like do a show like, some other people and, just, bashing the Messiah or bashing who we feel is the Messiah. So, you guys did a whole lot of informative platforms. I was pretty honored to be on a panel with Sister Mayana, I think it was, with the roundtable about what happened with the MAGA students in D.C. And, I just want to say that, family fight, fight, and then they come back together again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just really think that it's sad that it's coming down to this, because if even in Israel they were still together, even though they was fighting all the time, you know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't agree on everything. They had big fights and they came back together. You know what I'm saying? Some didn't, of course, but you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the majority, but I just think that it's a real sad thing, because y'all had a lot to offer, and it's going to be a lot of people that's going to miss that. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish that, maybe y'all could, get together, and it's probably past the point, but prayerfully it's not. Y'all could get together with, the people who you feel that offended you, and then, talk to them. You know what I'm saying? But maybe behind the scenes, everybody don't need to hear about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people are going to miss out on some of the things that y'all have to offer. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's kind of sad, But that's all I had to say. And whatever y'all choose to do, then, shalom to y'all, and, may the Most High be with y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate that call. And like Emunah said, it's not like the work's going to stop. Plenty of people came by this program, and like Gorilla Hebrew, for example. Sakari, he came on this program years ago, and he now he has a big, huge camp out there on the west side. Sometimes you got to move on and do different things. There's a lot of people that come through, and they hear the audio, listen to they on the show, and people like what they say. I'm hearing some feedback. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come on the program, and they people like what they say, and they follow them, and they continue to work. So, definitely. I'm of course gonna leave all the links in the description box if you want to keep on, checking out some of Emunah things, on some other shows and stuff like that. She does a lot of things out there, so keep following. If anything, let's go to 470-572. You're live.
Yeah, shalom, Mr. Swordsman. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Shalom.
Award of Swordsman. What's going on, man? What's going on?
I haven't heard it. What's going on?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm listening. Nah, this can't go down. Y'all know that. Where y'all going? The people need y'all.
You left us.
No, I didn't leave. I didn't leave. I went underground. I went off the grid a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's yeah, y'all can't do that. Y'all,
reunion.
Yeah, I mean, serious. A lot of people, like when we first started, huh? Okay.
Nah, I said it took all this for you to call in a war. Come on.
No. Yeah, I was just gonna say, in the beginning, with them, like Mayana, like at first I didn't get her, but as I grew to know her, I realized, you can't just tell them, both of them, you can't just tell them anything. These are studied sisters, and I admired that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of men don't understand that and respect that. These are studied sisters. You just can't come up there and say something, and and there's a lot of sisters losing their houses because of that. They just sat back, shut up, allowed things, and they knew in their heart things wasn't right, and they're destroyed. So you need sisters like that. You're not going to come up there and say something that we know ain't accurate. They're going to stand up. They're not going to let you do that. So I don't know why brothers don't embrace that and understand that instead of I don't know what happened. I didn't hear what happened. They call them names. I don't know all about that. But my thing is, I just hope, you sisters don't go nowhere, And, this is very needed. A lot of people listen to you sisters. Believe it or not. A lot of people. Yeah. It's not even about us. It's about the people. But that's what I wanted to say.
Right. It's about the people. That's
Brother,
right. You're right.
I'm just here like, I haven't heard you in so long. For those who don't know, man, listen to them early episodes. Brother Awar and Sister Mariana had to do some ironing out, and he's right. And once they caught their groove, and you know what I'm saying, the conversations were lively, they were spirited, and we always got somewhere with the discussion. It's good to hear your voice, brother. So you know what I'm saying? It's all joy, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people are listening, and thank you, Benny D, for calling in as well. A lot of people are listening. And again, this is the community service to the nation. You understand? And hopefully you've gotten something that can better your life. I kind of wanted to read something from Sister Angel because it really touched me. I'm not sure she really gonna call in, but she left it, and I wanted to read it. It seems like we're doing the whole show over here, which wasn't the.
yeah, right. Wasn't the plan. Go ahead.
He done hostage us over here, and the people are listening on the YouTube. So we just gonna go. Yeah, Sister Angel, she really expressed, as Brother Awar and Brother Benny and some others, that it's disappointing, and I understand it, and that's why I read the scripts earlier. She spoke about it being an emotional day concerning me leaving and having the pleasure of listening to me for a couple of years on this particular platform. And that her friends for show was the relationship challenge. And you can read more about it. And she's been with me since Take Time to Heal, which is for 2 years straight on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. I had a community closed conversation. So this was kind of a transition from that space where it was a closed conversation with people. That's where I got Emunah Ysrael. She was over there, as well as Sister Aisha and many others, where we would have a confidential space in which to share our thoughts and process our pain. So this is nothing new for me. So it's from those spaces that Sister Angel Bowles met with me and the Left Project. She was one of them, as well as Tish. Shout out to Sister Tish, who was rocking through the Left Project and all the other things. And basically she's just speaking to attest to the fact that no matter where I am, if the Spirit leads me to share, I'm going to share. And so it may not be in the capacity that we are used to, but trust and believe Sister Mariana also is, she's more of a writer and very readily available for the sisters to disseminate information and give them information. We are, because usually our names sound alike, so people say Emunah is Mariana and Mariana is Emunah. We do have different personalities, and we do, in some spaces, balance one another out as it relates to certain ministry, okay? And so I just wanted to say that because sometimes people have confused Emunah and Mariana and Mariana and Emunah, and you might not know who's talking. So I just wanted to say that. But I say that to say I hear you, as the Most High leads. As the Most High leads. At this point, like I said, I do find, if we let certain things pass and we don't speak up about certain things, they will begin to eat at us. They will begin to erode us, internally, our soul. And one of those things is not allowing, for the sake of community, ourselves to be verbally abused by anyone or emotionally abused by anyone. And the behavior that I saw demonstrated by Josh is verbally abusive. I'm just going to call it what it is. You see what I'm saying? That's verbally abusive. And I have to take a stand. But Sal, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I know you got another show you want to do. How many more minutes you want to be on the air before you do your show?
Let the people say their piece. Right now I'm already on live on the other side, so they're listening as well.
Okay. All right. So we got about 4 more people that press number 1. We're gonna go down the line. Again, the number is 319-527-6239. Let's go down the line. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Hey, Awar, any last things you want to say, Awar? Go ahead, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I just want to say shalom to the sisters, and I just hope everything work out, man, and get those shows back on there. Hopefully I'll be back, and everything will be beautiful. That's all I'm saying.
All right, take care.
Shalom, Awar. We look forward to working again. Definitely look forward to working with you again.
Yes.
All right, man. Appreciate your War. Long time, man. Brother, I've been trying to call us, brother. All right. Let's go to the next phone line. Let's go to, all right, you got a Skype caller here. Skype caller, you live.
Yeah, shalom, family. How y'all doing?
Hey, shalom. That's Anon?
Yeah, that's me. What's happening?
Hey, shalom.
Shalom, Emunah. How you doing, sis?
I'm tov. I'm good.
Kind. So from my perspective, it's I'll start first by saying it is a disappointing situation, and I'll tell you something just personal. So like when I first started calling in, like as a caller, and then, you was doing your thing with award and all of that, and one of the things I asked you was like, if you knew coming into this, like how do you find where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do? And your statement was something along the lines of like find who you vibe with or move towards your vibration, and kind of get there, get planted and grow, right? So the first thing I would say is the disappointment is, and no knock on you or nothing, but it's like there are those that do vibe with you, right? And so it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, why take that from the people, right? Because you made a very powerful statement of if you're going to say something or if truth needs to be said, like it needs to be said, and I'm going to be uneasy if I don't say this. Like for me, like I'm the rookie of the group, right? I'm the rookie of the host, of the people that are part of the Debate Talk for You family. And so for me, it's like, it's kind of like the first lady or the mother is like dipping on us, right? And no matter what the situation is, it's like, let's get it popping, let's do the work, right? Learn that from you, even brothers like Josh, who I know y'all disagree with, Mayana, BA, Ashanti, Awar, whatever it is, all the people we come to meet, the different personalities we've come to meet on this platform. So, like, my first thing is, like, a level of disappointment. The second thing is, like, I do understand where you're coming from, right? We had a very good conversation today, just so I could, because I asked you specifically how you felt and what was going on with you. And doing that, I got a level of understanding. But I will say still a level of disappointment, because if we are family, families fight. It's just what happens. Families fight. But we still got work to do, right? If we talking about healing a nation or a community, then this is what we got to do. Otherwise, we just kind of being susceptible to the civil war that we see, right? And that's my personal tad bit. Now I just want to comment a little bit on some of the things I heard. Number one, I don't think Sal or anybody else is trying to mute any of you sisters. I've expressed that to you and Mayana. I tried to publicly stay out of this whole situation because I see people that I care about, that I talk to personally, involved in this. And so I personally tried to stay out of it. But y'all know, from my perspective, ain't nobody trying to mute you or silence you. I don't think that was Sal's message or method. And for those that think that that's the case, I want to clear that up. Now, there was some lines drawn in the sand, but I'll say this. It was drawn to both parties, right? It was one of those things where it was like, okay, certain things can be done, and then that's it. And I know this because I've spoken to both parties. And I just, once again, a level of disappointment of it's like there's been other stuff that have happened on this platform, right? And we all still stuck it out, you know what I'm saying? At least from what I've seen. And looking at us going into season 10 with all of the things that's happening in the world, I just assumed, in my naivety, that this would be a team that went forward and really put things out there that would take Debate Talk for You to a whole nother level. The things that are on the horizon that I see that are possible, would really do wonders for the community. So, while I understand your mind is made up and your decision is made, I would ask all parties involved, whoever it is, to to rethink some of the views that have been expressed on the situation. I'm gonna be real quick. I'm gonna finish up and then I'll turn it over to y'all. And then finally, while I agree that you have every right to respond, stop saying we. Because the people that he was talking about, they don't represent y'all. The people that he was talking about are the people that I bang with, that I go to war with, because, or at or against, because they don't represent what we're trying to build. Whether I always agree with your perspective, whether I always agree with everything you put out, I believe that you do it classy, and I believe that you do it to the best of your ability, not to purposefully attack people's families, attack people's livelihoods, attack all of these various things, right? That's not what y'all do. So you definitely have the right to speak up. I'll defend your right to speak up to anybody. But don't clump yourself in with the people that Josh was talking about, because you don't represent that group. By all means, peer review, do whatever you feel led to do. But just as a favor to me, don't walk or leave with this impression that you were included in that group, because you're not. And that's out of love. That's not out of telling you what to do. That's out of love as a younger brother. Like, nah, that's not you. That's not what you represent. So I hate that you are leaving. I hate that it came down to this. But going forward, like Emunah gave some advice, I would say going forward, remember that the Messianic brothers and sisters also look at you, right? Once again, may not always agree, but it's like, yo, we learn from you. So going forward, remember that. Think about that. Think about how it affects us as well as it affects your Tanakh only family as well. Because once again, and I shout this to the rooftops, and I'll bang at whoever don't like it, Messianic, non-Messianic, whatever, when he was making that point, he wasn't talking about those that are trying to do the right thing, that are trying to walk this thing out correctly. And we all should stand up and yell at those people who are not doing this correctly. Whether you like how he did it or not, his point was clear. Those that are out here wilding and acting crazy are the problem. And I think that has got lost in all of this, right? Those that are out here wilding and acting crazy and making us look like fools, those are the problems. And I don't believe that y'all were the problem. So I hate that this happened. I don't think this fight was meant for you. I think it was meant for those that are actually doing the wrong things. I think it's a shame that they didn't step up and answer the challenge. Hopefully in the future they will. And, you know, I got love for you, sis. If we can work together in the future, cool. If not, you know what I'm saying, I pray for yours, you pray for mine. But peace to you, and just, you know, walk with your head up. Shalom.
Hello. Yeah, my mic is acting up. Can you hear me, guys? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, she is.
Are you? You can respond.
Yeah, that was the voice of Brother Anonymous. I want to thank him for calling in. It reminded me of some things. I'm always very cognizant of who's listening and, you know, where they potentially may be at. I understand that everybody has their different positions, you know, and what different angles in which they come to the people at. And given that the fact that my angle is about healing, identifying the source of our trauma, and looking at it from a soul perspective, I always try to keep balance in mind. And I think this conversation, the approach of the conversation was imbalanced. And as I said before, it was in a way that it did not meet its intended target. You know, I said it to you before, if you walk up on some place and you don't have a target, then you're going to, whatever you hit, that's what gets hit. And so many people don't understand why we pick this up. But I pick up many things to be the voice, as I said earlier, for those who just joined us, of those who may not have a voice or who have not yet found their voice, because we all have a voice, who who may not find their voice. And somebody may say, Emunah, why are you picking up domestic violence? Are you domestically abused? And I will say no. But I do. Then somebody may say, well, I'm not talking about you. And I say, well, I see them, and until they can speak for themselves, I'm going to be the voice that helps to communicate that this needs to stop, that we need to look at this, that we need to evaluate this. There is no doubt that there are issues on both sides, but the presentation was one-sided. And because the presentation was one-sided, people who you didn't intend were the ones who said, you know what, this is an opportunity to discuss this. And if we miss opportunities such as this, then issues continue to persist in our community. And so what I did and what we did in this particular situation is true to the form of the tenure being here at Debate Talk for You. You know what I'm saying? This is what people are not realizing, that it's true to the form of the way in which many topics have been addressed. You see what I'm saying? And so it just happened that, and I'll read a comment from one of the brothers who said that in his estimation, we were the right people to answer this conversation. And in his estimation, the Most High has equipped us to do what it is that's happening. Sometimes we don't understand. Sometimes we do need a wake-up call. Sometimes we take things for granted. We take people for granted. And then when the probability of the person no longer being in the space, then we perk up and be like, whoa, where you going? Because we take people for granted and things for granted and situations for granted. So hopefully I'm not doing it. Like I said, as we spoke about earlier, and I don't really need to rehash, this wasn't something that I said, hey, this is what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to dip on Debate Talk for You. That's not what happened. But the way things came down the pipe, I had to make a choice and stand on principle. Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that, Brother Anonymous. Brother Sal, is there any more people on the line?
Yeah, we got more people. We got more people. We got more. The number's 319-527-6239. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, let me go to the next caller real quick. Go to 347-303. You're live. 34.
Shalom, this is Sister Aisha.
Hey, Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, sis. How are you?
Yes.
I'm okay. Hi. Considering I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, this might be out of left field. But I'll say this. Am I live on the air?
Yes.
You all live. You all live.
To me personally, and I didn't hear everything that happened, but I will say that I think that being an Israelite woman in this modern era, and I'm sure even in our ancient era, is very difficult because you're kind of in a hypocritical space. In one aspect, you're an Israelite, and you want to stand up for your people. You want to speak up at times when there's an opportunity to speak up or something needs to be said. But in the next instance, because you're a woman, sometimes it's not received well in our community. And I would say this for myself, it's almost like, well, speak when it's suitable to defend our brothers, but then if we disagree with something, no. And it's to me, it doesn't seem righteous. I applaud you, Emunah, for standing up for yourself. And even though you deal with healing, and I know I used to be able to take time to heal, I enjoyed it. I wish it would come back because I think a lot of our people need that space to heal and to talk about certain things, as well as other spaces and more counseling in Israel. However, just because you are the healer doesn't mean that when something happens and you're upset, you're not allowed to express that. Or you always have to take the higher road while someone else takes the lower road because you're the quote-unquote healer. We all need healing. We all have our things that piss us off or peeve us off. And, sometimes the Most High allows certain things to happen so that we can move into bigger and better things, per se. This forum is unique because you have people from various aspects of Israel speaking out. However, I think we can all take a page from Morey Contriel. During the time when the incident happened, I think it was in Washington, D.C., they contacted Maurice Contrail, and he, he didn't, even though he wasn't a member of the particular camp that was doing the protesting, he still managed to be interviewed by the Fox News, and he didn't, go against his brothers. He didn't condemn some of the Messianic street camp brothers. However, he spoke of us as a nation of people who are coming from various perspectives, but he geared more towards our history and our ethnicity, even though our doctrines may differ. And I think we can all take a page from him, because even when the interviewer wanted to pigeonhole us and condemn, the brothers and try to get him to do the same thing, he didn't fall into that trap. Torah-based Israelites and Messianic Israelites do have a very different perspective. That can't be ignored. But that doesn't mean because we disagree, we have to attack one another. And attacking in social media forums in very petty ways that I've seen, just because we disagree. I've been on this forum. I was on the Messianic Divide, when it's just sometimes as a Torah-based Israelite showing a difference of opinion. I found some of my the Messianic brothers and sisters take offense to that. So we can't contradict ourselves, If we want an open forum, we have to be willing to listen to the other point of view. We can't get angry when the other point of view is exhibited. And I'm going to leave it there, Dehu.
Aisha, that's Aisha from Hanashim Under the Palm, and she's also a guest speaker here on Debate Talk for You. As she said, she actually spent all night at the hospital with one of our sisters. So thank you so much for calling and letting your voice be heard, even though, you spent the night at the bedside of one of our sisters who's in the hospital, or prayers for her as well. I just kind of wanted to give that insight and background for the listening audience who may not be familiar. That was the voice of Yaisha, and she is recently a member of the Palm on Debate Talk for You. So thank you for calling in. Emunah, did you want to address any of the things that Yaisha said?
I mean, she spoke rightly. I heard her and I received what she's saying, and I would agree that if anything we take away from this, yes, you state your position. Nobody's not saying not to state your position. But at the same time, people come, it's choice. It says when Moshe is talking to the children of Yisrael in the wilderness, he says, blessing and curses before you this day. And then it says, choose ye life. You know what I'm saying? So he's telling you what he would want you to choose. But then again, you have the choice to make. And I think that sometimes we step over the line of presenting information to where we want to wrangle people to the ground and try to make them choose the choice that we desire for them. And that now is encroaching upon the individual's free will. You have to serve the Most High because you desire to serve the Most High, because it's within you. You know what I'm saying? So I would agree that because someone doesn't agree with you, doesn't give you the right to deface that individual. It doesn't give you the right to come for, as he was saying about, Josh brought up in what his lesson, he was bringing up about contention and strife, but I would say it would have been helpful if it was balanced, right? And it was not balanced. And the reality is, first of all, this is what people do. This is what I mentioned before. This is a human characteristic, not an Israelite characteristic, a human characteristic. People feel the need to deface the individual or the thing, it's that they cannot have, or they could not win over, or they cannot manipulate for whatever reason. Then I have to bring down your property value. You see what I'm saying? So this is a human condition that it would be a beautiful thing for us to look at this and begin to understand strife. This is why I went into Abraham and went into all of these spaces to say, okay, what is the core of it? Discontentment, indifference, resentment, lack of resources, ungratefulness, all of these things that each and every one of us who are listening and who will be listening know that some space within there we have to work on within ourselves. We have to see if we're envious. We have to see if we're covetous. We have to see if we have a jealous mind. We have to go. There's so much to be done internally, because no matter what we say, we can try to force us together, but the only way that we're really going to be a cohesive group is if we're connected with Source, which is the Creator. And in order to do so, we have to be purged and cleansed. That means all of these nasty mentality has to be purged. And instead of trying to necessarily beat it out of everyone else, how about we start taking the beam out of our own eye and say, well, I'm talking about contention. Am I contentious? I'm talking about being covetous. Am I covetous? I'm talking about hatred. Do I hate? And if they're there, it's not to say, woe is me, I'm done for. It's to be honest and say, oh, boom, both sides is true. It's there. Why am I so now? Most High searched me, created me a clean heart, this kind of stuff. And that will elevate us from just intellectually knowing this to becoming. So I would agree with Sister Aisha. Brother Sal, anyone else on the line?
Emunah, did you want me to go ahead and give that quote that you were referring to earlier?
Okay, sis, you can.
All right, so the quote that she was reading from the comment section is the first comment, and it goes, Emunah and Mayana, you two have done an excellent job taking on this challenge, and in my opinion, both of you are the most qualified. I could hear a slight pushback from one of the brothers that called in, hoping you two would stay out of this, but the Most High has you two right where you belong. May the Most High continue to bless you, sisters, with health, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Shalom. This person goes on to make a completely separate comment saying, also, Sal, thank you for allowing your platform to be open to these discussions, and may the Most High bring healing to your body. Good to hear you are doing better. So, just to that was the comment that Emunah was thinking about, and when we hear the brother go on to say to Sal, listen, I'm glad that you let these sisters talk. Thank you for doing that, and to put blessings on his health. It was when the platform didn't have the same feeling about us as the people were having about us doing it, that some of this kind of went left. Right, Emunah? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say that it's fair to say that we did have, varying opinions. You had those who said this needed to be said. You can listen back to the tape. So we're not saying, hey, Maya, you want to just, cook up some drama here. No, there were people who was like, this needed to be said. This needed to be addressed. There's an elephant in the room. This is an issue. You heard Chris call in, and it was used that Chris called in to say, listen, I'm guilty of this in certain spaces and times. You heard Davon say, yes, I agree, but this is the places that I don't agree. So it wasn't that everybody was saying, no, I totally disagree. What I disagreed with was not only the delivery, the inaccuracy of the delivery. Because it was riddled with misinformation, and it was kind of like a little bit of a propaganda campaign. They're savages, some type of birth of a nation type vibration where they're coming for us. Hide your kids, hide your children. I had to put that in there, a little bit of joke. But I'm saying, it was kind of like that. Like, ooh. And I'm like, what? Ain't nobody coming for you? If they are, you might want to talk about the specific person, because the average Israelite is trying to keep their head above water, whatever side you fall on. They trying to live out here. Why are you putting that mark on their back? And that's my contention. Why are we marking? We're already being marked by other people in other spaces who are looking from the outside. Why be so irresponsible? And I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's like saying you had a bad experience with a man or your husband, and the person divorces you. Now you go out to the community. I'm going to get a class here. I'm going to get a platform, and I'm going to say, all Israelite men are bad. All Israelite men don't go to work and stand on the street corner, and all they do is preach all day. That's what they do. And further than that, I'll say something like, and it's all those Messianics. No, I know full and well that there's some Messianics who don't stand on the street corner. Then how y'all going to look at Emunah if I say 99% of y'all do, though? That's not true. That is not true. That's my contention. It's not true. So why say that? Why not address who you have the problem with? It was said on the review. It was said when the lesson was going out. Who you have the problem with, talk to them. If they do not hear you when you talk to them, then you bring it to the public and say, listen, this is the case. But the reason why this particular issue is for those who are concerned, why are they doing it in public? Because of the nature of the way in which it was done in public. If you make a slanderous statement in a newspaper, you have to print a public, you have to retract it publicly. You can't be like, yeah, I whisper over to you, yo, my bad on that slanderous thing that I'm going to let stand in the newspaper. You know what I mean? You got to go, dear editor, you have a typo, you have an error right here. And that's pretty much the reason why it was done. in the manner in which it was done, and in such a way in which you can follow along if you're actually listening point for point some of the things that were said and why I didn't agree with them, or why we found issue with these type of spaces. And like I said before, and I continue to say, this is just the culmination of, what it is. And as Sister Aisha said, it may just be we have come to this point, and we just continue to grow from here and learn from here, and the work doesn't stop. So let's not think that the work is going to stop. The work will continue. But I'll give it back over to Bertie.
All right, for those that's tuning in, we got a lot more callers, I see. Today's show is entitled Debate Talk for You says farewell to Emunah. The number is 319-527-6239. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's see. We got maybe another 4 more callers standing by. Let's go to 530-763 alive.
Yo, what's the word? This is Brother B.A.
Hey, what's going on, B.A.?
Hello, Brother B.A.
Much love. I'm going to just give me a moment because I'm going to say a few things. I understand the whole concept. I understand everybody's view and their point. Now, I just want to say this before we go any further. And this is not directed at any of the sisters on the platform right now. This is not directed at nobody personally. But what I've been hearing, there was a few callers ago, there was a sister, I don't know who it was. There's this thing about there's an issue with women speaking overall. Number one, who's ever painting that narrative as far as Debate Talk for You is concerned, I am known to support the sisters to speak, period. I have caught hell, and I have caught a whole bunch of flack for standing up for the sisters to speak because we need that space. What stood out to me was when on the Under Palm episode was when they did a special episode called Sacrificing Our Children to Moloch. And ever since then, I grew to love these two individuals despite our differences. But one thing about it, I've always respected their opinion, even though there have been times to where we have not agreed. And there have been times to where I've had to personally reach out to them behind the scenes and express my views. And if I've told them if there's anything I've done wrong, if there's anything that I have said, I am open to correction. I don't have an ego. So, and a lot of people who know me personally, you know what it is. So I'm hoping that there isn't this narrative being pushed as if these sisters are being intimidated because they speak on this platform behind the scenes. That's not what's happening. Sal has called hell. Anonymous has called hell. I have called hell for standing up for these two sisters, including the various other sisters who have been on this program, including Sister Ashanti, who was also a sister regular that has a show and who teaches on this program, on this platform. So none of these sisters are being intimidated. None of them are being bullied. None of them are catching any flack from any of us on this platform for speaking. So this thing about women can't speak or there's a problem with women speaking, I think we're all adults, so we need to get past that now. That's not what's happening. And I just hope that whoever the individuals who are pushing this thing about women empowerment, the sisters don't have to have any type of empowerment because they are enlightened and they have their power and they speak their voice. So this thing about women being oppressed on Debate Talk for You, that's what I thought I heard. And if I'm wrong, I stand corrected, no problem. But from what I'm hearing is that and then I want to nip that in the bud before it becomes a big issue. Oh, Sal ain't letting the women speak. Sal has always let the women speak. He has no issue with it. I just want to say that.
All right.
Number two, despite all this situation with the peer review and Josh teaching, I stand with Anonymous on this one. I told the sisters this myself. That it was that the lesson was not for them. It was not for anyone who conducts themselves properly. These two individuals, Emunah and Mayana, have always conducted themselves on the air in a decent manner, to where they are always open, even though there have been times where people have crossed the line, but they have always been open to hear others speak their piece or whatever it may be. They don't fit the category of attacking New Testament on the air. They don't do that in their shows. They always want to come out and bring a open dialogue and hear different perspectives. There have been times to where it's got a little heated, and I can attest to that because there was a time on the Messianic Divide when I got a little passionate. But what did I do? I fell back and apologized to the sisters, and it was good after that. But the thing is that the individuals who Josh was talking about, this is what it was for overall. For those people who don't know, I would suggest that you go back and you listen to the teaching that Josh taught. He specifically made a point, and I know the sisters, they have their view, and we talked about that, but I'm just telling people, go back and listen for yourself. And don't listen with my ears or anybody else's ears. Listen with your own ears. And listen thoroughly. I say this all the time. Israel don't want to listen. They just want to cheerlead and take sides. Listen. Now, one more, and with that being said, Emunah leaving. I wish we could have did things a little different, but she's made the choice to leave. It's unfortunate. And just another thing, Mayana is still on board. Ashanti is still on board. So no, not all the sisters are leaving, and there are various sisters who are coming onto the platform who will be speaking as well. So for those who think that all sisters are leaving, that's not happening either, because I know people will take that and make it seem like Sal is going about dogging the sisters out, because that goes on in Israel. Things get taken out of context and it goes way overboard. So with that being said, I'm done, and y'all have a good night.
You can respond.
Well, thank you for that. That was the voice of Brother B.A. Ben Abraham. He let us know your thoughts. And as he was said, I would implore you to go back and listen if you are confused, if you came in the middle of this conversation, not sure what in the world is going on. Feel free to go back and listen to first the class lesson that was given about 2 weeks ago, and then go ahead and listen to the response, and make sure you read the comments. Make sure you do your diligent inquiry, and as he said, as it always says on Debate Talk, for you get your pens and pads, and make your own decision. So thank you for that, Brother B.A. Sal, do we have any more callers?
Yeah, hold on. You're trying to get my mic together. All right, I'm good now. Y'all can hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Let's go to the next caller. 678-497. You're live.
Shalom, sisters. How you doing? This is Mario.
Mario, what's going on?
Shalom, Mario.
Shalom. Just wanted to say I'll praise the Most High, first of all. Just wanted to come on and say, of course, it's a sad day for everybody here in this year. I just wanted to say, of course, thank you. You the one who y'all the ones who actually allowed me to come on. Y'all was the first program that I actually came on and did when we did the sheep's and wolf clothing, wolves and sheep clothing, and the leaders of Israel. So I just want to thank y'all. Y'all were one of the ones that I've actually tuned into Debate Talk for you to actually listen to. Me and my issues to sit down and just listen to y'all and stuff. And guess we're going to have to go back and just go through all the other segments that y'all did and just listen to it to kind of keep that, process going with us. But it was definitely a blessing to hear your voice and stuff onto the radio. Onto Debate Talk, and sad how everything played out. Definitely understand why everything is happening. Just like a few pulled out the debate, the trial for certain reasons. I would say it's the exact same reasons. You felt that there are certain contentions that y'all didn't want to be in that space or that type of area or that type of environment. Y'all didn't want to feel that tension or anything like that, because that's not what we're supposed to be about or whatsoever. I'm kind of on the same route, But at the same time, like he was saying, like you definitely have to call the elephant out in the room at times. But just hopefully, like it goes, like we can get better as a nation. I mean, like just going back listening to the peer review and also Josh teaching and stuff like that. But the thing I have to agree with this the saying that it should have been balanced. Like because on both sides it is that same. It's contention on both sides. It's good on Messianics. I'm friends with a few Messianics like that. I would just respect what they believe in and everything like that. Of course, like I did a lesson on here where it was somewhat of a debate, but it was I took it more of a lesson as far as like all the Old Testaments, everything in the Old Testament fulfilled. There was a couple of people that came on that said that tried to put Yeshua into the mix, and I even said to myself that no, I'm not even going to try to. I'm not trying to bash Yeshua or anything like that. I just want to give this specific lesson. So I do respect people who actually follow him in the sense of that's what's going to make your life better or anything like that. But yes, there are times where we're going to have to just pull out and just agree to disagree and just go our separate ways. And so I definitely understand why you are doing what you have to doing what you have to do. I feel that's what's really right for you because at the end of the day, is how you're going to feel about yourself. In the sense of like, are you going to be in peace with yourself or whatsoever? And when the moment you feel that somebody is taking your peace away from you, you have to pull out. That's for your sanity. That's where insanity comes from, when somebody takes you out of your peace or when you don't feel no longer in peace or anything like that. So, but I just wanted to applaud you and say that you did a very well, good job. I told our Sal for even allowing the sisters to come on and speak, because that's pretty much what my mission is with Israel, is to make sure that my sister's voice are being heard, because like Brother Anonymous says, like that's big in Israel right now. Brother D.A. said that's big in Israel right now, that so many people are trying to shut sisters out and saying that they can't talk when wisdom is they're pretty much the embodiment of wisdom. Wisdom is Kamat is a feminine aspect. That's something that's embedded into women. So many people in Israel, or so many stories in the scriptures speak about women giving knowledge. Like every single story that we hear about of a sister is usually dealing with knowledge, wisdom, understanding, or anything like that. You have like sisters like Deborah, Esther, Haddah, so many that just comes out and they just give them wisdom and stuff like that. We can't shut them out. So I just want to say I am subscribed to your channel and stuff like that. So this won't be the last that I'll be hearing from you. So I'm thankful for that. But I just also want to say just thank you for everything that you did for Debate Talk Radio. And shalom.
All right, Shalom, you want to respond? You can respond.
Thank you for that. For those who are listening, that was the voice of Brother Mariel. He has come on certain panels and let his voice be heard. So I want to thank you for your participation and your willingness. I drop it in a box and you say you're there and you come up and you let your thoughts be heard. And so I want to thank you so much for your words and your encouragement. And as he said, he shares a lot of things that are practical and we can learn from if we apply them to our lives. And so definitely it was good hearing from you, Brother Mario.
All right, so let's go to the next caller. Right now it's about 10:17. I guess we're going to try to wrap it up like around 10:30, pretty much. Let's get to the callers. Let's get to as much callers as possible. Let's see. Let's go to 720-352. You're live.
Shalom, Sal. Shalom, ladies. This is Davon.
Shalom.
All praise to the Most High.
Shalom, Brother Davon. What's good?
Shalom.
What's good? Shalom. For sure, I want to piggyback. I know y'all got a lot of callers. I won't be too long. I don't know y'all trying to get to y'all's other platform. I definitely know for sure that the both ladies are qualified to address any and all topics. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know, as much information that they've covered over the years. They actually had me on their show back in the day when I first came to Debate Talk for You, and I reached out to them to put them on the New Testament trial just because of their qualifications. So I definitely respect them. I definitely know that they're teachers, they're nurturers, they listen, and they do their homework. I'm just going to put it like that. You know what I'm saying? They definitely do their homework. So I don't think they came into this with no ill will as far as the challenge goes. And I think the challenge was two sides. You know, the first part, is from what I heard, was the foul language being addressed. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Nobody needs to talk bad about nobody and, you know, wish harm on people for having disagreements. You know what I'm saying? So I have to agree with that. But I definitely think the other half of the challenge was not a challenge at all. I felt it was a complaint of all y'all do is bash JC. Well, we see him as an idol. I mean, let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way we see it on the Tanakh side, you know, or a false god, however you want to see that. So to say stop doing that is not a challenge but a complaint. This is debate talk. If Sal was known for only giving people a chance to get on here and give sermons, then and somebody came on here only bashing, you know, saying the New Testament, then you would have a point. But this is debate talk. It's built on debates and contention and argument. So, I mean, I want to read two scriptures. This is Isaiah 27:9. By this, therefore, shall the iniquity of Jacob be purged, and this is all the fruit to take away his sin. When he maketh all the stones of the altar as chalk stones that are beaten in thunder, the groves and the images shall not stand up. And the second is 2 Kings 9:22. When Joram saw Jehu, he asked, have you come in peace, Jehu? How can there be peace, Jehu replied, as long as all the idolatry and witchcraft of your mother Jezebel abound. So as long as the New Testament people teach that the New Testament is a continuation of the Tanakh, then we're going to go after your New Testament. Because the way it was put that, you know, all we do is bash that, well, we see it as a problem. If y'all don't want us to talk about the New Testament, stop teaching in the New Testament that the Tanakh is a fulfillment of it. We see those as lies, which brings the contention, which brings the debates. So if you don't want to be provoked, don't provoke us. So it's a two-sided street. You know what I'm saying? It's a two-way street. So I get the foul language, the insult, the personal attacks. I don't do those things. I don't make videos about people. I don't personally attack anybody. But I do go after the New Testament because I see it as idolatry. So I don't see the other half of the challenge was a challenge. I've seen it as a complaint of you beating up on my book and my God. Well, I see that as an idol. So, you know, I reject the actual Tanakh challenge, and I do accept the challenge as far as to continue not to insult people and call them out their names and stuff like that, because I don't get down like that. Anybody has heard me in all my debates, anytime I've been on the Sal show, I don't get down like that. So as far as back to the I think this whole thing is sparked on the way it was presented and the way it was addressed. I thought it was addressed fair. They brought quotes to the table. Like when somebody called in earlier and tried to say Mayana was being mean, he didn't quote her being mean. She actually read what she said. He just took it as she was being mean. And this is one of the problems of reading things and not having a voice behind it. Everybody knows that they've read a text or something and perceived it as a funky text, but the other person didn't have those intentions behind it. It's how you probably wanted it to read it based on who you thought you was addressing, knowing that they will respond in a certain kind of way. So, yes, things get lost in translation, and perception is everything. I get that. But at the end of the day, I wish Emunah well. I know she's going to do her thing. She's been doing her thing. She was going to be a part of our trial. I don't know how that's going to work out now, but she's definitely an honorary member. If she still wants to get down, we'll discuss that later. But I definitely don't think that this issue was addressed in any type of foul manner. I thought they were professional. They brought evidence to the table. They didn't make up nothing. They gave anybody an opportunity to call in, and it sounds like everybody called in on the defense, but the person who actually gave a lesson, I guess he's going to wait till it's his turn to have the floor again instead of calling in and addressing these things, which he has his right. That's cool, whatever. But I really don't think this actually was a challenge. If he just wanted to talk about people, being foul to each other, completely agree with him, 100%. We don't have no reason to be foul with each other. We deal with enough stuff in our life on a daily basis. But the other part of the challenge is that we can't teach Torah, and all we do is bash JC. Well, yeah, we can teach Torah. I personally teach Torah classes without bringing up JC to the people that I deal with in many other platforms, but not on this platform because this is a debate talk show. This is debate talk. Go look up what a debate is. You're not agreeing with nobody. It's why you're debating them. So if you want a Christian sermon, go read Matthew, the Sermon on the Mount. But if you want, and we can even ask Sal. Matter of fact, let's ask Sal. Sal, what gets the most views? The high-profile debate.
Everybody know the drama in the debate.
You see what I'm saying?
Drama in the debate.
So for you to come on here and be like, you that's all you want to hear, go somewhere else. If you don't want to hear it, don't tune in. But we bring the fire because it's contention. And I just read 2 scriptures. I gave my 2 witnesses of why we bang on idols. So that's what we do. If you don't like it, that's too bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's not all we teach. That's all we teach on this platform. Okay, let's get that real straight. On this platform, you don't know what we do in our own communities. You don't know who we teaching and what we teaching. On this platform, Sal knows the titles when we give him before he puts them up there and he invites us on the show. He knows it's going to be a problem with people who don't like it. But guess what? He don't say, "No, Davon, you can't teach that. You're going to hurt some feelings. You're going to upset somebody." Nope. He schedules a date and I show up. You just heard him say, right. So if you don't like it, that's your problem. That's not a challenge. Stop complaining. So with that being said, shalom to the sisters. We'll chat offline. Peace to you, Sal. All praise to the Most High. Shalom.
All right, shalom. And there's
I'm not sure if I could be heard or not sure if Sal's mic dropped. Brother Sal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there now.
I can hear you. I don't hear Sal, though.
I'm back. That.
Thank you for that. That was the voice of Brother Davon Mays. Letting his voice be heard on the topic, reiterating some things he said before. And so definitely thank you, brother, for calling in and letting your voice be heard. I know we are almost at the 10:30 mark, and we do have Sister Esther who's on the phone as well. So I want everybody to have an opportunity to get through, so you can open up the phone line again.
Oh, we got a whole lot of callers, y'all. We got a whole lot. Yeah, you have a number or a specific number? The first 3? That person you talking about?
All right. Sister Esther, put your first 3, only the first 3. But in the meantime, Sal, you can open up another line.
All right. Let's go to 732-407. You're live.
Shalom, family. How you doing? This is Esther.
Hey, sis.
There you go. That's her. What's going on, sis?
I'm doing okay. And first of all, let me acknowledge Sal. Sal, you sound good. You sound strong, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You sound strong. I just want to, say something really quick, family. I'm not going to get into all that other stuff that was discussed tonight. I just want to talk personally about my sister Emunah, okay? Because I support her in deed and in action, and I want to talk about Mayana too, because they are one of the few that are able to cross that line into the Messianic community. And I'm Messianic, and they have never at any time made me feel uncomfortable about anything. And I can reach out to my sisters and I can talk to them. And they will give me an honest response, a true response. I know one time Mayana had to get a little tough with me, but you know what? It made me respect her even more. Because if my sisters can, if I can talk to them in the good times and in the bad times, and if I can get correction from them, it makes me love them even more because it lets me know that they truly love me and they truly have my back. And like I said before, I am messianic, and they've never beat down on me, okay? And I talk to them. I also too want to say, Emunah, remember when I was sick?
Okay.
What's the first thing you did? You reached out to me.
Okay.
You reached out to me, sis, and that meant so much to me when you reached out to me. And one of the things I spoke to you about was getting your soup.
We're working on it.
Get some of that food that you be putting up there on the Hebrew Food Network. And it meant a lot to me, sis, because I don't know too many people who are Tanakh only or even Messianic who would have done what you did. And it spoke volumes to your character. And I understand you, sis, taking your stand. But at the same time, my sister, I'm going to miss you. I know you got other platforms you're going to, but this was special, and I'm going to miss you. And I got to keep it real and let you know that I am going to miss you. I'm going to miss hearing that voice. Even though I normally hear it on other platforms, this platform was special. And I appreciated the work that all of you did do on this one platform that you had. Okay? And I want you to know that, and I want the listening audience to hear that. These are two sisters who have the ability to cross the line where very few cannot do it. And I appreciate them and I respect them, and they never unloved. They always express love to me and concern and care for me. And I just wanted that to be known of my two sisters because I got their back. And Sal, I'm glad to hear you sounding strong. Keep it up, my brother. Maybe lift up a few pounds, a few weights. You know,
nah, man. Trying to lose some pounds right now. But go ahead. I hear you.
Yeah. And everybody have a beautiful night. Shalom to you all.
Thank you so much. Shalom to you. That was the voice of Sister Esther, always bringing the energy to the room. Thank you so much.
Shalom, little sis.
Much love.
All right, being that it's 10:30, what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna make it a time for only quick comments. Being that we got some more phone calls on the line, just quick comments, maybe like 2 minutes of saying something, y'all, because I'm trying to get as much people as possible. You know, I got some things to do in the morning. So let's see. Just quick comments, y'all. 916-747, you're live.
Hey, Sal.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. Okay, 2 minutes. Hold on. Let me get my stuff adjusted. My dog jumped on me and everything. Hold on.
All right.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, okay. Good.
All right. This is Sister Ashanti. How you doing? Emunah, how you doing? Mayana, how you doing, Sal?
Hey, shalom, sister. How you doing?
I'm cool. 2 minutes is good because I got to go back and have a conversation, you know. Home life be popping. But I felt compelled to call in to say Emunah, Mayana, as a person who was on Under the Palm, one of the main people, not one of the main people, but one of the people on Under the Palm, and then sometimes on the Relationship Challenge. Emunah and Mayana, you've done a good job with bringing out some of the topics, communicating, and bringing out things that we need to do to reconcile male and female relationships. So I want to say congratulations on that. I want to say farewell to you from the Debate Talk to You platform. Of course, you're going to be doing the continued work, you know, on your Yummy COTTAGE, YouTube, Solonomics, etc. You got a few things going on, and you're commendable for that. I do want to say that, you know, I'm on Debate Talk for You as a woman, and this platform has allowed the feminine principle to speak very loud, very clear. Even I come on and teach, and I'm bringing lessons that really shake up the paradigm, especially what's been taught to us in society about females for the last 2,000 years. And I'm pretty much bringing some clarification of, you know, we've misinterpreted Scripture for so long. So with that being said, continue to do the work. Love you. It's just kind of different. But I do want to say lastly, this whole disagreement on whatever we have going on, at the end of the day, none of us really absolutely know. This is all a belief. This is all a faith. And let's continue to try to love one another, try to get our families right and tight, keep our families right and tight, try to teach our children, try to, continue to grow economically, financially literate, learn how to grow and raise food, learn how to survive in this lifetime. And pretty much what we're trying to do is rehearse to be in the kingdom, right? We're trying to rehearse to be in the kingdom. So with that being said, I don't have much else to say. Just want to say shalom, shalom, lala tov. Keep up the good work, and I'll holler.
Thank you so much for that. That was the voice of Sister Ashanti. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for calling in, letting your voice be heard. Much love. Family and everyone who's called in. Sister Mani, you want to say something?
No, Ashanti know there's all love between us, so, I definitely would holler at her offline.
All right, thank you for that, Brother Sa. I believe Brother Elon is on the line, a 509 number. You can open up the line if you see that, and, we're going to keep rocking and rolling. The babies are sitting outside the way, so, they're about to roll on. But go ahead.
Yeah, we got only two more callers. We got two more. So 509, got 509. Mm-hmm.
Shalom. How's everyone doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Shalom, brother. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, sis, and Sister Mayana. I'm glad to hear y'all's voices once again. And Sal, it's great to hear your voice live and in person.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad everything is working health-wise with you. And I wasn't able to listen to the entire discourse today, but I did pick up on some things from the past few weeks, and I definitely want to commend the sisters specifically for tackling the issues that they have tackled together when people have been silent, not wanting to talk about some of these hot button issues, every Monday, day in and day out, whether they had, one viewer or, 200, whatever the topic was, it was always something to provoke thought. And for that, I am, very grateful. And I think I was on one of the shows a few months back as well, and I definitely appreciate being invited onto the panel with you guys. And it seems, getting back to more of the issue surrounding all of these events that are taking place. Sal knows very, very well, and I'm sure as the sisters know, I do not actually go out and seek debate for the most part. I think I've issued maybe one challenge. And at any rate, the people who come to debate me, they usually run because I think I do bring a different perspective than what some of previous teachers have labeled Tanakh only as. And so when I come with intelligence and when I come with respect, that is something certain folks from the other side of the aisle are not used to. And so I hope what I can do is continue to bring that level of calmness to the situation, because we don't always have to be, on our toes, ready to fight at every single whim. And I think the sisters have done a very, very good job at bringing the conversation, bringing it down a peg or two to really be sensible with a lot of these issues. And I didn't know Sister Emunah very well, but I've gotten to know her over the past few months, getting ready for the trial and things. And she brings fire. She just has a way to teach that no one else really has gotten. And, there's a lot of misogyny on sometimes both sides of the aisle, and she's being able to pierce through all of that. And with that, I am, again, very, very grateful because you're a voice for women, modest women who are trying to do this thing the correct way. And that's about all I wanted to say, y'all. I love y'all, and hopefully, as we go through the next chapter of this, of our apologetics, of our outreach, of this walk, I really hope that we'll be able to really come to grips and settle and what's the word? Just come together as a community more so. And I think what you guys have done has more than started that process. So thanks again. And Sal, I'll be talking to you soon. You know who I'm trying to get at. So
yeah, I know.
You know who I'm trying to get at. So let's get it in. But love y'all. Laila Tov, Shalom Aleichem, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Shalom.
Shalom Lakar. I was the voice of Brother Elion. Thank you for calling in, letting your voice be heard and everything that you said. I'll definitely go back and listen to all of this and, take down what I can take down, learn from what I learned from. I believe we have one more caller, and then I'm going to give it over to Sister Mayana, who wants to say some words. So thanks for everybody for sticking with us. Thank everybody for your patience, your outpouring of support, your rebuke, you know what I mean, all that nice good stuff. So we're going to go to the last call, and then we're going to go to Sister Mayana.
All right, let's see, 859-312. 859-312. 859, can you hear me? 859-312. Are you there? All right, going once, going twice. All right, gonna move on. Skype caller, you live?
Yeah, shalom. I'm back. It's A9. I was praying. I was hoping to see. I asked the Most High if I'm supposed to get through, then I'm gonna say this. If not, then I'll let it rock. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Forget it. I love Brother Davon, right? Davon just called in. Davon knows I love him. We've had our balances and our battles and everything in the past. But he represents, in my opinion, what this issue is. And I'm just going to be straight up. See, while the rest of y'all get to go back and do y'all thing, this really affects debate talk for you. Everybody that's a host on this or that deals with this, we talk to Sal on a daily. Some of us weekly, most of us daily, prepping shows, talking to people, interviewing people. And while, yes, this is the debate talk show, it also teaches lessons. And while many may agree or disagree with the challenge that was put out, the challenge was kind of clear, right? It was just simply not change what you teach, not change who you are, but just give us a lesson that doesn't include bashing the Messiah, that doesn't include calling us names, that doesn't include certain things. And so Davon did give him credit for the first part. Yeah, we don't need to have foul language. You don't need to have this. But the second part of that is, let me ask you this. If you really believe me, Anon, a strong believer in this word, right, that I'm wrong and I'm in idolatry, you're going to win me over by calling me an idolater? That's what's going to win me over? That he was making. Not stop what you're doing always, but just for one time or maybe even two times, give us something on this platform where we can see it. But instead, it's no, I'm not going to do it. Forget it. Don't worry about it. And that's supposed to bridge the gap, right? That's my issue. So the other thing I heard was, why aren't people calling out names? So I gave you one. I'll give you another. Chris Harris. I love the brother. He's repented on things that he's done, but he's done a lot to make that lesson necessary. A brother like Rob Rack or Judah Nazira, who purposefully said he was happy that Sal got sick. That's the type of reason that made that lesson happen. So, yes, these sisters were very qualified to get up and do what they did. Not knocking that at all. But at some point in time, we also have to look at the people who are doing the problem, who are the problem. not telling Davon not to teach what he teach, but just for one time show us that you can teach something else so we can come sit to the table. And I'm saying this because I've talked to all of these brothers one-on-one in private several times, and they'll admit that. So I'm not just sitting here talking out the side of my neck. So when I see somebody who I consider to be an asset, which is Emunah, and I don't care who likes it, don't like it, she was an asset. Leaving, saying, oh, I'm out because of whatever. I wish that we would have had the time to sit down and say, hey, these are the problems, these are the people we talking about, not trying to put them on blast or embarrass them, because I'm not trying to embarrass them brothers or put them on blast. But since it came up, because Marielle wanted to hear names, we wasn't talking about you, or Josh wasn't talking about you, Marielle. It's certain people that were being spoken about. But the brother was actually trying not to just say, boom, I'm going to shoot at these people. He put a broad statement. You have the right to respond to that. But the point that I'm making is when people are pleading to you to say, hey, for once, stop attacking us. It does make us feel attacked when you say certain things. And there is no decorum, there is no acceptance of that. Well, then, yeah, like the brother came out and did what he did. So I would hope that in the future, those of you that are guilty of this, you realize that this is the type of thing that you cause. Like it, love it, really don't care. That's where I'm at with it, because I love these sisters. I love the other brother that's involved with it. So for those of you that feel like it's not that big of a deal, yo, it's serious. Sometimes you do need to look in the mirror on both sides and say, you know what, I probably shouldn't present this that way. Probably shouldn't come at it that way. I maybe should come at it a little different, because I know that that's what these sisters do, and that's what I do. That's what I try to do. So just in the future, I'm asking for both sides to be transparent and also be honest. When you see people doing wrong on both sides of the aisle, call them out and let them know, stop it. Because if we really are trying to build a nation, which I'm really starting to question with a lot of people, but if we are really trying to build it, the way that we're going about it right now on certain sides, that's not it. So shalom to the sisters. Lala Tov. I wish you all the best in your endeavors, Mayana and Emunah. I know Mayana stand, but, well, I know Mayana stand. But to Sister Emunah, you know what I'm saying, I wish you all the best in your endeavors. To anybody thinking that we don't want to hear women talk, man, you go fly a kite, because you know we love our sisters. I can't speak for every other brother, but we love our sisters.
Right, that's right.
Shalom, Lala Tov. It is what it is. Peace.
I appreciate your call.
And voice of our brother Anonymous. There's so much to go into, but we are almost at the 11 o'clock hour.
Already? Wow, look at that.
And I believe we have Chris on the line before we go to Sister Mayana. So, Brother Sal 813, I believe that's Brother Chris.
All right, let me look on the switchboard. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, we got these calls ain't gonna stop, man. Yeah, all right, here we go. We got more people too, other than Chris. 813. Go ahead.
Well, Chris goes, Brother Sal. After Chris goes, I did say Mayana, so we're gonna try to get Mayana in there before it spirals out of control. So we're gonna go to Chris, then we're gonna go to Mayana, then we're gonna go back to the phone line.
I'll be real quick.
All right, so Chris, the mic is yours.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hi, Sister Emunah, Sister Mayana, Sal Showtime. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Yes, it is sad to see Sister Emunah leaving the platform, but she's not leaving in my eyes, because I'll continue to seek her counsel, which is very wise counsel. Her, Brother Alan, Sister Mayana, they have all helped me to remain calm when I hear nonsense. And once again, I'm just going to be honest. I hear a witch hunt going on. And the witch hunt this is what we deal with when we're dealing with Messianic frailty. And I won't allow people to attack Davon Mays, because Davon Mays, he holds himself at a high standard, and his bar is very high. He does not insult anyone. He's been on a debate talk radio, and guess what? He's did almost 6 lessons. 6 lessons, and he's never insulted anybody, nor has he ever attacked anybody. He attacks the subject. And if you guys don't like it, that's the point of Debate Talk for You radio. Remember, it's not called agree It's not called agree with one another talk for you radio. It's called debate talk. Davon is very passionate about this. I, too, am very passionate about this. As a matter of fact, when Josh issued the challenge, I sent Josh a text message. And as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, Sal, but this must be done. I sent him a text message, and I said, Tanakh challenge accepted. But unfortunately, you cannot set the condition of the way we debate or the way we give our lessons. We look at the New Testament as false, as a creation of the Piso-Flavian family. We look at it as human sacrifice to redeem for our sins as an abomination. As a matter of fact, Josh, I would love for you to do a lesson on why human sacrifice is an abomination to the Most High. And can you please show me human sacrifices atoning for the sins of the people and giving them salvation? Because that's what the entire New Testament is predicated upon, and our Creator has already said that it is an abomination to him. And according to the covenant that he made with the sons of David of his seed line, he would not do that if they remained righteous. They would sit on that throne, and he did not do that. So this is why we go after the book and show people these things, and I have turned many people and got them out of this book. Have I done things in the past? Yes, I have. You're right. But I won't allow anyone to attack Davon Mays because he has held himself at a very high standard. It's got to stop there because you guys have not looked in the mirror, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Has Josh from ABT, in fact, taken down that lesson on Judah Nazura being a homosexual on his channel? No, he has not, because it's still up there. It gets his channel views now, don't it? So even the Christ of the New Testament has said, pull the beam out your own eye before you go witch hunting against us. It's just that simple. Isaiah 27:9 speaks volumes. I can step on it all day, and I do not see the Most High speaking at all in that book, and I dare a Messianic to come at me with Matthew 3, because I will show you right there on those pyramid texts and on the coffin text where that is said. Newt spoke to Geb. Don't play with me. But do not attack Davon Mays. You can attack me, you can attack Judah Nazura, but you will not attack Davon Mays, Brother Alon, nor these two sisters. They were well within their right to do and say what they said, because he said anyone can attack it. And the brother KC, I read that message, and I would like to just read that real fast, Al, and I'll let it go. And I want to read this message because we see this messianic frailty going on here on the platform right now. And I'm not trying to cause contention, but since it came up, I want to read it. And this is what it says right here. He came in, he said, where's the answer to the challenge? Hands over the face. Can I get a review on the information he brought forth from the Tanakh? Sister Mayana clearly said, good morning. The information Josh brought forward was addressed several times. You can find it by press and play. That's all she said. And then when she addressed that, he began to get frustrated. Once again, messianic frailty, and he began to get upset. He's done that to me in the past. They did nothing wrong. They addressed everything, and they showed Josh the mirror. Telling the host to hang up on a brother such as Marielle was uncalled for. Josh, you even had Sal hang up the phone on, what's his name, on Davon, when Davon was trying to talk to you. So you did not hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Instead, you insulted the people who took their time out to call you during your lesson. I don't have to teach the way you teach, and I do not teach like I'm in the Christian church. I bring a flame. And I'm going to burn this book down, whether you like it or not. And Anonymous, it will suit you best to please stop mentioning my name, because I did not mention yours. I've apologized on this platform, and I'll continue to uphold myself in the best respect for this platform and represent it the best way that I can, the same way that I'm doing Solar Vision. I no longer deal with Judah Nazura. And the worst thing I probably ever did was act that way. Because when you hang around people with these spirits on them, these spirits will jump on you. Be more like David and less like Saul. So I've given more Tanakh than I probably ever have right now. I can stand up for myself. But please, don't. The kettle cannot call the pot black. And you're throwing stones in the glass house. Tell your master, your rabbi, your more, take that video down of Judah Nazura calling him a homosexual. He may be a lot of things, but that's one thing that brother is not. And whatever goes on between him and everybody else, that you can condemn that. But your Moray himself has that video on his page. Shame on you. And shame on everybody at ABT calling up here addressing these sisters the way they have. They stood up for the Tanakh-only community and for the Israelite community, and they held themselves in great regard. With that being said, hallelujah, we don't need your book. It was an attack on the Torah-only community, and we do not teach like we are in a Christian Sunday church sermon. No need for it, because Elijah didn't do it, Isaiah didn't do it, Jeremiah didn't do it, none of our prophets did it. They did it according to thus saying Yah, whether you wanted to hear the message or not. With that being said, peace to everybody. Have a great night. Peace to the Double Dragon Davon Mays. Peace to my two beloved sisters. We will continue to remain in contact, and Sister Emunah is not going anywhere because I will continue to seek her counsel. Hallelujah.
All right, shalom.
Yeah.
All right.
Woo.
That was a lot.
I'm gonna need a drink of water. Thank you for that. That was the voice of Brother Chris Harris calling in. I'm gonna drink my water right now. I'm gonna give the phone over to Sister Mayana so she can say her piece. We like sprinting up to the 11 o'clock hour. I don't know how much time we have, so Sister Mayana, Mike.
I know you got one call. I know there's another call in because I'm going to say this really quick. I want to confirm and affirm that, yes, Debate Talk for You has been a wonderful platform and has allowed for the sisters in the feminine principle to be represented. And I've been very proud to serve on this platform to the community. I've heard the brothers assert that Mayana is definitely saying, I want to be clear that in the conversation that I had with them, that I stated that I would be paying attention to how I was going to be treated going forward, and that I was taking all those things into consideration. And I think many of you who've listened in have heard some things and the way that I was addressed and represented and misrepresented several times so far. So I can't say with any confidence that I feel comfortable. So I just kind of want to say that. But I did want to first preface that with that's not a reflection on the history of Debate Talk for You. Historically, Sal has been very respectful, very protective, very encouraging, and some of the things that I'm hearing being allowed to be said, not just in the comment section, but now on the calls to me, knowing that it's false, knowing that it's, and just I'm concerned. So I just want to be the one to say that first and foremost. So you heard that from me. There's no surprise. Thank you for giving me that, Emunah.
All right, thank you for that.
And for the record, that's why we have you here to address the, whoever called in, and I'm glad you're here so you can address it. That's what we're here for. Got it.
Right, that's the voice of Sister Mayana. Brother Sal, 720, I believe that's Brother Davon, 720, if he's on the line. He requested to be able to say his last piece before we go ahead and close out the show.
Listen, I got to get out of here. So you're going to take that last one. Where you at? 720, and after that, we got to pretty much get some last words. Got it.
All right on. Thanks for letting me say some things. The fact that I was just called out that I represent the problem now, if I represented the problem and I read two scriptures to give my position, you represent exactly why we come at the New Testament. And just for you saying that, I'm going even harder on the New Testament. Again, this is not a challenge. This was a complaint. You beating up our book. You coming for us. I don't ever remember calling your name when I read a lesson. So how am I coming for you? I'm coming for the doctrine that existed before you and probably going to be around after you gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? So to call up here and say that I represent a problem, how come Sal never told me that? You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of people who done put the New Testament down and gave their life to the Most High because of what I do. All praise to the Most High. I don't take no credit for myself. I could die tonight. Since you want to say I represent the problem because I'm giving my views from the Tanakh's point of view and I read the scriptures to back it up, you the problem. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't going to take up too much time. I just wanted to say that I ain't no problem to the community. Y'all the problem because y'all don't believe what the Tanakh say. Y'all believe what y'all idol say. So shalom to Emunah, shalom to Mayana, shalom to Sal. And, yeah, I'm coming harder for the New Testament. Shalom.
All right, so that's let's get some last words because I pretty much got to get up early in the morning, and I got.
Yeah. So the last words is thank everybody who came out, let their voice be heard, who said what they needed to say, who gave words of encouragement, like I said before, things to consider, things to think about. May we all continue to grow and elevate. May we all continue to put our eyes towards the Creator. and do that which is right in his eyesight. May we remember why we are here, scattered to the four corners of the earth, because we turned our back on our true and living power. Therefore, we should come towards him with humility instead of hubris. We should come on our faces instead of standing in a way in which we feel as though we have arrived, so that he could remember us and heal our land and bring us back to the land that he promised on earth to our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So this is what, for me, this conversation has been about, always has been about, and may we continue to seek truth and shine light in dark places. Everybody have a blessed night, and I see you, you know what I'm saying, when I see you. Much love.
And the last thing is I want to say that I love Sal, and it's not because of Debate Talk for You or the brand or anything else. The people that I have met here, those are people that I have lasting relationships with, and nothing is going to change that. When it comes to the fact that we came here, it was because we wanted to be able to talk to the people, defend truth, stand on integrity in a respectful way, and for that to be something that could continuously be upheld. But if it ever comes to the point where that's not something that's possible, then no one that I know would be able to stay in a space where they are not allowed to respectfully respond to something that the community has put out, and I have to say that includes me. So with that, I love Sal, I love all of you. I don't, just shalom. I wanted to be able to be clear on that.
Okay. So publicly, you're letting it be known that you're not going to be on the program as well. It's just for the record.
Are you asking me to make the decision right this second, Sal?
No, I'm asking you. Are you going to publicly be here or not? I'm asking you.
At the moment, I said I'm
asking you. I'm just calm down. I'm just asking. Calm down. I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you.
I'm calm. I'm calm. You're pushing.
I'm not pushing anything. I'm calm. No, I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, and you're also accusing me of not being calm. So I think that you seem a little more anxious than I am. So okay. I want to be clear. Are you telling me this is a decision I have to make right this second? Is that what you want from me?
No, I'm just asking you, are you going to, be here or not? Because the way you sound, like you're saying pretty much, you feel two different ways pretty much.
You push it? Do you really want to push it right now?
I'm not pushing anything. I'm just asking you a question. I can ask you a question, right? I mean, am I able to ask you a question?
That's what I'm
Okay.
Yeah. And my question to you is, are you asking me to answer it right? Okay, you know what? Then yes.
You don't have to. You can say no, or
no,
whatever.
I felt like I had to keep asking.
It's up to you.
I kept asking.
Yes.
Pushing me.
Yes.
You're like, answer my question.
I simply asked you a question.
I'm sorry.
Are you saying, I'm asking you a question. Are you saying that you're going to also be leaving, the show? That's all. Just ask you a question. You can say no. You can say I'm going to stand by my wait till certain things go down. It's up to you. I'm asking you a question. That's all I did was ask you a question. That's all I did.
Sal.
So you said yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for helping me with the decision.
Okay. I mean, all right. I didn't help you with anything. That's your decision. It's your decision.
If you
I didn't force you to say yes.
I didn't force you to say yes. How that went down.
I didn't force you to say yes.
So,
I want the women program.
We're live. We're on air.
I want the UTP program to stay for the ladies. You're not even listening to me now. You're not even hearing me now. I want the ladies to have be on the brand. I never said I don't. But you're the one that hosts that program, right? So I just asked you, how do you feel? Do you want to stay on or not?
Okay.
And you don't have to decide now. You don't have to decide now. You can say I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stand by, and see how some things. It's up to you. It's a choice. That's all.
You're not listening to me. Okay. So you said you wanted ladies on the brand.
Why does it have to be an argument because I'm asking you a question? I don't get that.
No, I'm not arguing with.
It sounds like it.
I called you. You're being weird. This is very weird, Sal. You've never been
it's
like
not
this.
Weird. I'm just asking. You've never been like this. You've never been like this.
It's making me very uncomfortable because you've never talked to any of us like this
I think you're
before.
looking for a reason to just
saying now that you want ladies on the platform, but it sounds like you want us to be in our place and do things a certain way, and we're not allowed to engage the conversations the way we have been the moment it makes something uncomfortable for one of your male guests. And so I hear you when you say you want us here, but you're also saying you want us here the way you want us here.
Okay.
And
so
that's
there's
problem.
No, what I'm saying is, of course, as a producer of the program, if I feel like I can voice where I think we should go, I should be able to voice that out to you without it being a problem. But
It wasn't a problem.
I guess it is an issue.
I didn't say I had a problem, but you are being very
I just
strange
simply asked you.
on the air for everybody. But it's fine. I'm glad that I got a lot of love for you. I'm just going to end it with, okay.
All right. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? So there you have it, y'all. You know, I'm gonna leave, like I said, I'm gonna leave all the links in the description box. Make sure y'all, check them out. Like I said, it's all love at the end of the day, right? I'm gonna, I appreciate the work that they've done. Like I said, I don't want where the ladies are not represented on this brand. I'm a strong advocate for that, but everybody has to see it that way. You know what I'm saying? I could keep saying it over and over and over again, but if nobody sees it on a certain type of way, then what can I do? All right, so tune in tomorrow, y'all. Make sure y'all check out the Big Talk for You. We have another show, Brother Josh will be here. He'll be back. Make sure you check out the show. Take care, and God bless.